Hi. Hang on, I'm thirsty. Welcome to the first official Alpha Male 2.0 live stream. I've done many live streams, but they were all on the Sovereign CEO channel. And so finally, I got my act together, and now we're going to do a Alpha Male 2.0 live stream. We're going to talk about all things in terms of masculine long-term happiness via masculine long-term freedom. So self-employment, having your own business, location independence, not being tethered to one location, non-monogamy, your ability to have sex with other women, even if you're with the woman of your dreams without cheating, and so on. Oh, you missed the Sovereign CEO, and all right, that's cool. Well, I'm glad I could do this again. I got to be careful what I promise, because so we had a Sovereign CEO live stream last week, and I said, I got a bunch of guys ask me questions about women stuff and lifestyle stuff, and I said, let's keep it to Sovereign CEO. Hey, I'll do a live stream next week, so don't worry. And then I looked at my schedule. I'm like, I don't have time to do a live stream this week. We're launching a bunch of stuff right now, and it's a lot of my plate. Daddy's plate's very full, but I love you, and so here I am. So I will wait for people to file in here. While we wait, I'll just do a Q&A for you guys who are here early as I drink my water. Hang on a moment. And then we'll get to the content. A few topics to talk about. Then we'll do a Q&A at the end. Hi, Jesse. Hi, Jamie. Godfather, the effective OLTR model. Yeah, I think that's actually accurate. Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think that's my niche, or the one of them. So yeah, all right, cool, awesome. Hey, man, Zan the Man, cool name. I do. Oh, we better change that, shall we? Let's see. How do we fix the Sovereign CEO? So hang on a minute. You guys can ask your questions. I will fix this logo. Shit. I was all excited about having this in the correct channel. And then, yeah, hang on. I go to settings. Let's see here. Virtual background, audio. If anyone knows StreamYard very well and can tell me very quickly where I can change the logo, let me know. Otherwise, I'll have to click around and look for it. God damn it. I was all proud of myself. No. Hang on. Definition. Where is it? Shit. God damn. Hang on. Banners. Brand. Oh, brand. Here we go. Brand. Here we go. Oh, I think I found it. See if I did it. Yeah. There we go. There we go. God damn it. There's the black dragon, even though it's red. Cool. All right. There we go. Branding appropriate for our topics today. There we fucking go, brah. All right. Are there any questions in here? Let's see. Wow, we've doubled the number of people already. Okay, I better wait a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. I've lost my here we go. How do you sleep with women in your social circle without tainting the well? You have to be very careful about doing that, which is generally why I don't do that. I don't actually sleep with the women within the same social circles. Instead, what I have done is I make sure to sleep with women who are in different social circles. And then you have less of a problem or zero problems. So you're going to have some challenge. The only exception to that is if you're doing 100% sugar daddy game, pay for it game, then they kind of like that you're in the same social circle. But other than that, you just don't do it. I just don't do it. And for those of you who insist on doing it, you're going to have some problems. Yeah, that's the way it goes. How long does it take to become location dependent following your system? Well, it's not about location dependent. It's how much money do you make? So it depends on what your income goals are. So if you want to make, how fast can you get from zero to making $1,000 a month location dependent? You can do that pretty quickly in a few months. It depends on what you want. I recommend you make at least $85,000 a year, which is about $7,000 a month. That's going to take anywhere from 2 to 5 years if you start from zero. Now, some of you guys are not starting from zero. Some of you guys already have your own businesses. So if you're already an experienced entrepreneur, it'll take you much less time. If you're starting from zero, 2 to 5 years to get to the 85,000, location dependent. Or faster if you join the 90-day business builder, which I will discuss later a little bit. Let's see. Oh, you were at the Mesco thing. Cool. Cool, man. Love it. Oh, I think I remember you. Yeah. I remember your picture. Yeah, cool. Can you list a few non-information product Alpha 2.0 businesses? Non-information product. Consulting, coaching, numerous business services. Coaching and consulting are the easiest ones. Coaching, consulting, business services, and then drop shipping. Although drop shipping is a little harder because the margins are more narrow. But most guys in the Alpha 2.0 community are not selling information products. Matter of fact, the 90-day business builder we just closed down. We just finished. There were a number of guys in there, somewhere around 40-ish guys, and the majority were not selling information products. The vast majority were not. So that's just what I do. You can do whatever you want. Do you still wear your wedding ring when out meeting with other women? Yes, I do. I am outcome independent, which we're going to talk about today. So yes, I do. And if they don't like it, that's their problem. If you are confident and nice, women don't care, particularly much younger women. Women who are in their 30s or 40s, if they're looking for a serious boyfriend, obviously will care if they see a ring like this. Women in their 20s do not care. Matter of fact, in weird scenarios, sometimes they prefer it. So yes, I do. I never take this off. I don't have to. I could take this off. There are guys in this community who do take it off, who have oil tiaras or are married like I am. That's fine if you want to do that. I don't lie to women. I have nothing to hide. And I love my wife. And so this is the symbol of our love. So I'm just, no, I don't need to. In terms of tax rates, which Southeast Asian country is the best? They're pretty much the same. There is no best. They're all about the same. Philippines isn't horrible. Cambodia isn't horrible. They're not for tax. If your number one goal is tax savings, you would not hit Southeast Asia. You'd be in Dubai where I am, or you'd be in a country like Paraguay where they have territorial tax. I'm an OLTR and I'm starting to get lazy with my FBs because I'm comfortable. That is the number one problem with men in OLTRs. That is the number one problem is I have a non-monogamous relationship with my girlfriend or wife. I could hook up with the girls, but I'm just getting lazy and bored, so I don't do it. Any tips how to jumpstart myself out of this comfort cloud? Just do it. Just do it. Here's my promise, and this is accurate. I've had hundreds of men make this mistake, and they always run into this problem. You ready? You're going to start having, within a few months, I can set a timer in my watch. Within a few months, you're going to start having major drama problems in your relationship. She's going to start treating you like a monogamous boyfriend or husband. And you're going to get drama, demands, and then when you go hook up with another woman, she's going to blow her head's going to explode because you cheated on her. And you're going to logically explain, well, wait a minute. If you remember our discussion last June 23rd, 2021, you promised, you said it was okay for me to have sex with her, with, and she's going to go, fuck you, and she's going to throw a pan at your head because women don't speak logic when they're in relationships. So this is very dangerous what you're doing. Your face is looking leaner. Slowly but surely, yes. I was just talking to, I have two fitness trainers. I don't want to say publicly who I'm working with. I'm working with someone who is very big on YouTube. I hired him. And if you're in my coaching programs, you know this person is. Don't reveal it, please. I'll reveal it later. And so I'm working with him a few months, and I've lost some body fat. I really just gained more muscle mass. I've gained more strength than I've gained in my whole life in terms of strength gains. It's kind of ridiculous. Even when I was 18, lifting weights. So yeah, I'm doing a little both. Should we get started here? I'll do a few more questions and we'll get started. Any advice for a short guy who wants to date taller women, Western and international women? Confidence, outcome independence, and game skill. And physical appearance. Those are the four things. So confidence, outcome independence, stop giving a shit. Game skill, do the things, do what you need to do correctly. Don't do it wrong. There's a right and wrong way to date women. These black pill guys say game skill doesn't matter. They're objectively and factually incorrect. Okay. There's a right and wrong way to do a first date. There's a right and wrong way to do a second date. There's a right and wrong way to meet a woman. Okay. To produce attraction. All right. And your physical appearance. So if you're short, You need to do everything perfect in terms of how you look. When I was much more chubby than I am now, I was having sex with a lot of women, but my window of, or my margin for error was much smaller. So I had to do everything right. My hair had to look perfect. My skin had to look perfect. My shirts had to look perfect. My shoes had to look perfect. Okay. Everything the way I looked. My grooming had to be perfect. You can't make any mistakes if you're overweight or you're a different race of the women you're going after, or you're short. Everything else but your physical appearance has to be perfect. You want the minimum number of strikes against you. That's it. It's over with that. I'll do one more question. How do I set up a FB situation where I mostly go to the chick's place? My living situation is ideal, and I have chicks over, and the only alternative I can is to renting an Airbnb apartment. So first, there's no easy answers. All the answers I'm going to give you are problematic. All right. One is you screen for women who live alone, which is hard. The vast majority of women of all ages do not live alone. Okay. So you just screen for women who live alone. Number one. Number two, you suggest it. And if she says, well, I have a roommate, and then you figure out if you could schedule that somehow with her. Odds are low. Number three, you go ahead and get a hotel or an Airbnb. It's hard. All right. I'm going to get started with the topics today, and I will circle back to your questions. Outcome independence. So we did a webinar, a training we actually charged money for a few weeks ago on outcome independence. It was one of our most popular ones, one of the most strongly requested topics for us. And I'm going to cover some of the basics. We're not going to cover everything on the webinar, but you are now able to get a copy of the video and the audio and the transcript of that webinar. You need to be subscribed to my list. I'll talk about that in a little bit. You'll have to pay for it, of course. It'll cost you money because we go into deep detail about this. Outcome independence is the art of not giving a shit. Outcome independence is the closest thing you have. It's a few things. Number one, it is the closest thing you have to a real life superpower. And I didn't say that. Scott Adams said this many, many, many years ago. Not giving a shit is the closest thing a normal person has to having a real life superpower. Accurate. Mark Manson, for those of you who know who that is, wrote an entire book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. He could have named that book anything. Why did he name it that? Why did he name it Not Giving a Fuck? Because outcome independence is the number one most important thing to your success and happiness as a man, particularly today in the modern era. If you stop giving a shit, you will make more money, you will get laid more, you'll be happier, you'll have better sleep, you'll have less stress. Every other aspect of your life will improve. Is what I call a leverage skill. Leverage skill is like time management. If you become good at time management, all the other areas of your life improve instead of just one. Most skills improve just one area, and they don't really affect the other areas, okay? So I'm learning here how to gain muscle mass and lose body fat and all that stuff through my trainers. How is that going to help me in terms of my business? It's not. I mean, the skill set of going to the gym and understanding how to do progression algorithms and things like that, is that going to help me with chicks? No. I mean, I'll look better, right? Is that going to help me make more money in my company? No, not really. Those specific skills are just specific to my fitness. Time management and a few other skills like outcome independence improve all the areas of your life. It improves your woman life. It improves your business. It improves your finances. It improves your happiness. It improves your family life. Your family life. So you guys with kids, you guys with horrible parents, it improves your family life. It improves your Five Flags life. It improves everything across the board. Okay. On top of that, and I've talked about this in my primary book, The Unchained Man. You can go to alphamalebook.com to get that book. That's about $7. It's over 400 pages. It's the best book I have ever written, the best book I will ever write. I talk about in there and on my other books, my other content, outcome independence is the number one most attractive quality you have to women. That is not physical. Let me say that again, because a lot of guys don't understand this. Most men have no concept of this. They have no concept about how outcome independence works. When you are sitting across from a woman, especially if she's really hot, she's an 8, 9, or 10. And I don't like the 1 to 10 scale. I think it doesn't work because it's subjective, but I'm going to use it because that's what everyone uses. Okay. You're sitting across from a woman, especially if she's attractive, and she can clearly tell you don't give a shit about her. You're nice and polite, but you don't care. So if you're in a first date, second date, or in a social scenario or a day game scenario, it doesn't matter. Okay. Work scenario doesn't matter. She sees you are completely unaffected by how good looking she is, and you don't care if she likes you or not, and you don't care if you ever see her ever again, and she can feel that from you, but you're nice and polite at the same time. Doesn't mean you're an asshole. Doesn't mean you treat her like shit. That doesn't work either. Okay. So if you're nice and polite and she clearly can feel that you don't care, she is immediately attracted to you and she won't even know why. All you guys who talk about, I saw the other day, I saw this ugly guy with this smoking hot girl and he's not rich. You know why? Confidence and probably outcome independence. He probably didn't give a fuck. That's how this works. The number one reason, well, I would say the number two reason. Number one reason was probably the effort I put into it. But the number two reason I did well many, many, many years ago with women, dating many, 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 many women, including women who are, 15, 20 years younger than me with no sugar daddy name, not giving them a penny of money, when I was much more overweight than I am today, is because I built up my outcome independence. I built up the skill set and the habit, and it is a habit and a skill of sitting down with a woman on a first date who was super hot, and she could clearly tell I was nice and polite. I didn't give a fuck if I ever saw her again. And she's like, and she leans forward, and all of a sudden she gets attracted and wants your attention because she's not getting it. Okay? So not only will outcome independence improve every area of your life, it is also the single most attractive quality you can have to women that is not physical. Now, of course, you have to address the physical aspects. You can't be 400 pounds, okay? You can't be 5'1", all right? You can't dress like shit. You can't have horrible grooming. You got to address these things as well. Of course, that's a factor. Of course, that's true. I'm talking about non-physical, in terms of non-physical attributes. The guy who doesn't give a shit is going to outpull the good-looking guy who has no game, or the really smart guy who's read all the dating books, okay, but is really needy and really wants a girlfriend. Okay, the outcome independent guy, the guy who doesn't give a fuck, is going to win every time, or most of the time statistically. Okay, you should rank your outcome independence on a scale of 1 to 10. What is your outcome independence on a scale of 1 to 10? One means you just want everyone, you care about what everybody thinks all the time. And you care about your country, and you care about your family, and you care about your religion, and you care about, the world, and you care about what everyone thinks about you on the internet, and all your friends. That's a 1, okay? 10 is you don't give a rat fuck what anyone thinks. I'm at 11 right now. And actually, I've mentioned this before. It's actually, I am so outcome independent and have been for the last 4 or 5, 6 years that it's actually caused some minor problems in my life because I give such little of a shit. I just don't care about anything. It's wonderful. I'm the happiest man I know at any age and at any income level. I am happier than men. I am happier than men I know who are way better looking than me. I am happier than men I know who have way more money than me, even though I do okay, because I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about the United States. I don't care about my family. I don't care about anything. I don't care about the future of the world. I do not give a shit. I don't care about what you guys think of me. The reason I don't is because I know there's a percentage of you who will buy my stuff, regardless of anything else. So I don't care what any individual says about me. Okay? You cannot offend me. You cannot upset me by saying something. Most of you, the vast majority of you, can be upset by someone making words with their mouth. I can't. You can say anything to me. You can insult me. You can insult my wife, insult my kids, insult my family. I go, okay, don't care. And it's wonderful. And I want you to get there as close as you can to getting there. And there's a lot of techniques for this. I'll give you the best one. Okay, and the best one is when you are tied up in something you want, okay, a thing you're concerned about and it's bothering you, you ask yourself, why do I care? Why do I care? Well, I care because of this. Okay, then you ask yourself that question, why do I care about that? Okay. And you say, well, because of this. Okay, why do I care about that? Why do I care? And then you keep asking, why do I care? And eventually you're going to get to an answer where you go, well, I guess I don't care. So here's an example. You're on a first date or maybe a second date with some relatively new woman, and she's 8 minutes late, and you're pissed off, God damn it, because you're an alpha male 1.0 and you're a red pill guy. Women need to respect you and be loyal and treat you right, God damn it. And she's respect my time. This is very alpha male 1.0. This is very right-wing traditional conservative. This is very outcome dependent. And by the way, the number one, or actually the only, in many respects, the only difference between the alpha male 1.0 and the alpha male 2.0 we talk about here at this channel and this content is that the alpha male 1.0 is an alpha male who is outcome dependent. The alpha male 2.0 doesn't give a shit. So if you're acting very alpha male 1.0, okay, she needs to respect my authority, God, and you're mad that she's 8 minutes late, okay, ask yourself, why do I care? Why do I care if she's 8 minutes late? 8 minutes. I didn't say 37 minutes late. Okay, I said she's 8 minutes late. Well, because she needs to respect my time. Okay, why do I care about whether or not she respects your time? This is some chick you just met. Why does it matter if she respects your time? This isn't your wife. Now, if it was your wife needs to respect your time. This is a chick you just met. All right, why do you care? Well, because, that's what polite people do. Why do you care about what polite people do? Well, society has to have standards. Why do you care about that? What difference does that make to you? And you just keep going and going. And eventually you go, I guess I don't care about that. I guess I am being a little silly. That's how this works. So you just ask yourself. Now, you'll have to do this in a state where you're not agitated. If you're at the moment, your blood is boiling and you're furious, that right there means you're outcome dependent. I have not been angry. This is true. Okay. Some of you aren't going to believe this, but this is the exact truth. This is 100% accurate. Anyone who has known me for years and years will tell you this. People on my staff, my wife, my people in my family, my friends, people I've worked with for years, they will all tell you this. I have not experienced the emotion of anger where I'm like, God damn it, in about 20 years. And I'll tell you the exact scenario that made me mad 20 years ago, because I remember it's so significant, because I'm never mad. I didn't say I'm not frustrated. I didn't say I'm not, God damn it, fuck. I have that experience. But in terms of like being mad, you're mad 20 years ago, and more than 20 years ago, it was during my first marriage when my kids were little and our house, I've told the story before, my house was robbed. Our house was robbed. And so we came home, the four of us, and we came in and the doors were open and the TV was knocked over and all this, my wife's, at the time, my first wife's jewelry was gone. My DVD collection was gone. My kids were scared. I was mad. That was 2002-ish. So literally 20 years ago. That's the last time I was mad, because I don't care. You would have to do something horrible to make me mad. You'd have to murder one of my children to make me mad. That's how bad it would have to get. That's outcome independence. And that's why I'm happier than the vast majority of you. I'm sure there's a few, I know there's a few of you in my audience who are at that level. You're happy all the time. You don't give a fuck. It's great. Wonderful. But most of you in the audience would get mad. A lot of you get mad about a tweet you'll read on the fucking internet or a fucking YouTube video. You'll watch a YouTube short and leave a hater comment. Oh, God damn it. I've mentioned before, I've never left a hater comment or a negative comment on anyone's content in my entire life, and I've been using the internet since 1995 because I'm outcome independent. I don't care. Don't give a shit. There's another aspect to outcome independence, and that is belief in yourself. Now, that really relates to confidence. Confidence is belief in yourself, and they're linked together. So it's easier to be outcome independent if you're confident. It's harder if you're not confident. Now, you can still be confident and outcome dependent. That's the alpha male 1.0. So I've talked about this. The beta male is the man who is not confident and outcome dependent. Okay. The alpha male 1.0 is the guy who is very confident, not outcome dependent at all. The alpha male 2.0 is very confident, outcome independent. Both. Cool. So to that is about believing in yourself. So let me give you a perfect example of this. I heard this statement with someone on the internet a few weeks ago. I don't remember who it was. I really don't remember. Damn. I wish I could remember who it was. But this reminded me of something. So I have said in the past, I've said this a few times, and this is true. If I took a time machine back in time, 25 years ago to myself, I'm 50. If I took a time machine back in time to myself when I was 25, all right, and I sat down with him and I said, Caleb, let me show you some pictures and some video of your life in 25 years when you're 50, when you're me. So let me show you how much money you make. And I would show him some profit and loss statements and stuff. Let me show you how much money you make in a typical month. Let me show you how much money you make in a year. Let me show you your net worth. Let me show you this. Okay. And I showed him these numbers. All right. More importantly, I said, let me show you the women you're going to have sex with. So let me show you the women I have had sex with in the last 30 days. Okay. And it's a number of women. It's a few. Okay. Because I'm not monogamous. And I showed him pictures and video of these women. He wouldn't believe me. He wouldn't believe the women, and he probably wouldn't even believe the finances. Now, he'd probably more likely believe the finances than the women, because when I was young, I wanted to make a lot of money, but I make far more money than I ever thought I would make, honestly, beyond any goal I set at that time of my life. So I promise you, I know me. I remember me when I was 25. I would not have believed me. I wouldn't. I said, "Oh, come on, women." 3 or 4 different women who all look like that. Come on, dude. Come on. Really? Come on. Your wife looks like that, and she lets you have sex with other women who look like, Bullshit, man. Come on, fuck you. Now, and I've said this before. Now, let me extend this to another aspect that I haven't thought of before. Let's say today, I'm 50, all right? Let's say the 75-year-old version of myself took a time machine back to today. Right after this live stream, he appears right here in this room. And he walks in, there's a 75-year-old version of myself. He says, Caleb, I'm you. Let me show you how I'm living with pictures and documentation and video and okay. If it were that far ahead of where I was when I was 25, in other words, if the disparity was the same or more, here's the difference. Today, I would completely believe him. Completely. I'd be really excited. Especially if it was a big disparity, a big positive disparity. Even if the disparity was greater, I would completely trust him. Why is that? Because I believe in myself now. I have more confidence now than I did when I was 25. By far. I was a beta male when I was 25. Right? And I was already doing pretty well financially when I was 25, not with women. But I was doing all right. I was doing fine. Because I believe in myself now. Now, one reason is, well, Caleb, that's easy for you to say because you have past successes you can look back on. That's true. Now, you also have to factor in the fact that I am older than the vast majority of you watching this video. I know my audience. The vast majority of you are between 25 and 40. I'm old enough to be many of your dads. As a matter of fact, my son is 30. My daughter's 24. I'm an old, not really old, but for a guy with my kids my age, I'm pretty old. I was one of the younger dads in the group. I'm young. I'm a young dad. I'm all fucked up today. Sorry about that. That's also true. I've had more time at this though, but this is something you need to cultivate. And when you get to a point where you have things in your life that you want, it's easier to become alcohol dependent. Well, how do you do that if you don't have the things you want yet? Well, at one point, I didn't have the things I want in 2007. So how long was 2007? How long ago was that? Let's do some quick math. 16 years? No, 15 years ago, right? 15. Yeah, that's right. Wow, I've been living the Alpha Male 2.0 lifestyle for 15 years. Isn't that great? So cool. More than that, right? Anyway, I was a divorced, overweight, heavily in debt, beta male dad living in an apartment because I was going through a divorce with no bed and no furniture. I had one chair, a little desk for my computer. I had a mattress. I didn't have a bed. Okay. That was me. And I was getting first dates with women who were really hot. Not 10s, but 9s and 8s. Hot. So much so that the people I worked with, when I showed them pictures, are like, a similar experience in high school. I showed them pictures and they'd be like, including women. I was like, how are you getting women like this to go on a date with you? What the hell? They're all confused. Why? Because I was faking it. Fake it till you make it. That does work with alcohol independence. So I've talked about this in my books where the first few times I went on a date with a really attractive woman. I remember the first time I went on a date with a woman who I would consider a 10, like a Barbie blonde, platinum blonde, perfect face, big boobs, size 0. Basically my wife. I just described my wife. She's size 0, platinum blonde, big boobs. Okay. So the first time I had a date with, I had never seen a woman like that other than watching Baywatch and shit like that. Right. And I'm sitting there in a restaurant. Don't do restaurants your first dates. I didn't know what I was doing back then. It's 2007, late 2007. I remember not hyperventilating, but I was so excited. I could feel myself breathing and my heart was beating. And I remember telling myself, calm down. If she sees that you're all excited about her, the odds is working are lower. So you need to bring it down, bro. Deep breaths, relax, lean back. Would James Bond be all excited about a hot girl? Woo! Oh my God. No, he wouldn't. He's not going to He'd be leaning back and wouldn't give a fuck. So I would tell myself to relax, breathe slowly, lean back, chill out, neutral expression, look around, smile, don't give a fuck, ask questions, don't talk too much. Everything I talk about my materials. Okay. And I had to fake it for a while. And it worked. Now, it worked better when I didn't have to fake it, but it did work when I faked it. I got results. I mean, you guys know my history. You guys know my Black Dragon history, how well I did. That's it. Okay. What else did I want to discuss in terms of that? That's it in terms of alcohol independence. How are we doing on time here? My God. These live streams are so weird. We've been going for 30 minutes. It felt like I was just talking for 5 minutes. I guess that's me because I'm good at creating content. Let's do Q&A. But before we do Q&A really fast, I need to put something on the screen. Hang on. Let's see here. 90daybizbuilder.com. Hang on, I got to type something for us to help you set up your own business. Save. Show. Okay, I'm going to check this out. All right, so let me talk about this really fast, and we'll get back to your questions. I'm not going to do a big thing about this. 2 things regarding the 90 Days Business Builder, regarding this. Number 1, if you are not on my mailing list, we are right now sending out videos, training videos on how to set up your location-dependent business. Right now, we're setting up the warm-up videos. You guys on my mailing list have already received those. We actually start the challenge, the business challenge, 6 full-on training videos starting. Let's see, when do they start? The 28th, Friday or Saturday, I forget. So you have like 2 more days. They're free, but you can't get them unless you're on the mailing list. So if you want those free videos, free with no sales or any of that stuff, okay, you got to go to calebjones.com, and download the Location Independence Toolkit. And that adds you to our mailing list, and you will get those videos. That's right now. Literally right now. We've already sent out a few of them. So you already missed a few. Cool? Okay. First thing, that's for free. Second thing, right now, just until November 7th. So we have another, week and a half, and then we're done. We're closing this. If you want to work with me and my coaches, all of whom make location-independent income, high location-dependent income, like I do, we will actually walk you through a process. We will hold your hand and take you through the process over 12 weeks on setting up your own location-independent business. Even if you have no idea what you want to do, you don't know what you want to sell, you have no idea what niche to pick, you have no idea. We will take you from that to actually making real money in 90 days. Guaranteed. We guarantee you'll be making money in 90 days. And if you're not making real money in 90 days, we will continue to work with you forever until you do. Seriously. We just finished the first iteration of this. Awesome. We have some more videos coming up about this on my YouTube channel, testimonials and things like that. Okay. If you want our help to walk you through the process, the way it works is you join up with the program once a week for 12 weeks. We have a session. It's actually a little longer than 12 weeks because in this session, we're going to take some weeks off for New Year's and Christmas. So it's being 14 weeks for you guys. You guys sign up. We walk you through the process. We take every Saturday. It's a new set of steps. We give you assignments. You're actually in our project management system, which is Basecamp. We give you assignments you have to follow. If you have trouble with the assignments, we have an accountability coach. We actually have 2 this time around who will be helping you every day if you have trouble with those assignments, working with you directly to make sure you get your assignments done. And we give you a new set of assignments every week. And we just literally bring you through the process, finding a niche. We spend a fucking month on how to set up a niche, find a niche, and find something to sell that niche. And we vet it so we make sure it'll work. We take a month to do this. The first third of the program is nothing but niche and finding out what to sell. We work with you on that. Then we have you set up the website, mailing list, blah, 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 and we do marketing the final month, and you're there. If you want to enroll in this program, there's a phone call you need to schedule. It's free, an assessment call, 90daybizbuilder.com. It's at the bottom of this video, right? Enrollment closes November 7th. After November 7th, we're done. We cannot take any more calls. Sorry. Okay. And I mentioned this earlier. We have a hard cap on the number of guys we can take into this program. If we reach that cap before November 7th, we're going to close it sooner. So if you have any interest in this program, it costs several $1,000s. I have to say that because a lot of guys are scheduling calls. They say, I have $200. Like, well, sorry. Why would you think this would cost $200? It costs several $1,000s, but it is 100% tax deductible. You can deduct this completely off your taxes because it is a 100% business program. Okay. Even if you don't have your own business now, it is still tax deductible. Please check with your accountant, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So if you have any wherewithal to do that, if you have any interest in doing that, now is the time, 90daybizbuilder.com. Go there, schedule your phone call. So make sure you get in And I don't want to hear any complaining after November 7th because you always get them. Oh, I didn't know. Sorry. November 7th. I don't know when if you're watching recording this video. I don't know when this happens, how much time you have. Get on that, 90daybusinessbuilder.com. This is, and I'm going to say that I've said this a few times. I'm going to say this again. And this is factual, objective truth with real numbers and stats. This is the single most effective program I have ever offered to the public. I have other programs I've offered privately through my consulting practice. That's different. But to the public, to the masses, this is the most effective program and the most popular program. People love this shit. I have some videos coming up where I show the surveys we gave people who went through this program on how satisfied they were and what they would rate certain things 1 to 10, and it's going to blow you away. We've never gotten results like this before. I mean, my programs are pretty good, but this is amazing. This is actually the flagship product of Sovereign CEO now. Yeah, I could go on and on about this. I won't get to the questions, but I'm going to leave that thing at the bottom. 90-day Biz Builder. I'm kind of paranoid. I'm going to make sure that a site is working. Bizbuilder.com. Make sure it forwards correctly. 90daybizbuilder.com. Yeah, it's there. Cool. There's a video there that goes over the details. Check it out. If it's not for you, fine. If you can't afford it right now, fine. I understand. Okay. Use a credit card if you want because you'll make you money on this. That's totally up to you. But I'm telling you, if you have any interest, now's the time. November 7th, get your call scheduled. We can still take the call. You can schedule the call after the 7th, but we cannot schedule new calls starting on the 7th, if that makes sense. That's your deadline to get your call in. So, especially if you're watching the recording of this, I don't know when you're watching the recording of this. You might have 3-4 days left. Get on it. I'm not kidding. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go back to the questions. Let's see here. I got to find where I was. Oh, Zan, you're helping with the brand. Thank you very much. With the logo. Thank you. Beep, 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 beep. Hello. Let's see where. Okay. When is the best time to pitch a date after texting with a woman online dating? ASAP, as fast as you can. So if you're doing, if it's a texting type scenario where you're going on back and forth, you have a back and forth conversation for about 10 minutes, no longer than that. If it's a opener scenario where you send her a message and then she waits it and she responds, within 2 to 3 responses, exchanges. We live in an era now where you cannot play it cool. Wasn't that needy? A little bit, but she's going to be off onto the next guy. There's too many distractions. You got to strike while the iron's hot. So fast. Don't wait too long. Just don't do it. Can you interview one of your successful students? All right. We have a new podcast. I mentioned this last live stream. We have a new podcast. We've recorded a few of them. We're going to start it probably next week? A third podcast. So I have the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. I have the Sovereign CEO podcast. New podcast called Business Badassery. It's me and Billy. Billy and I. Billy, if you don't know, scales companies. She works in my business. She makes high 6 figures, something like 800, 900,000 a year, location dependent. And on that podcast, we will be interviewing people on my staff and my customers and clients. That's the entire point of the podcast. So the answer is hell yes, a lot. So yes, 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 yes. I didn't really do a third podcast. I got, it's not like I have a lot of time, but that was important. So yes, the answer is yes, 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 coming soon. Number of MLTRs and FBs that is manageable and will not stress the shit out of you. I know this depends on personality, but what amount would you find manageable? All right, good question. So for MLTRs, 2 is a lot, okay, for most men. 3 is, I've done 3 before, but it was hard and I didn't get a lot of work done. So I don't recommend 3 MLTRs. I recommend 1 or 2. And then for most guys, 1 to 3 FBs is fine. You can do a little more FBs because FBs won't take as much time. So I would say 1 to 2 MLTRs, 1 to 3 FBs. Don't go past 2 MLTRs unless that's just the focus of your life right now. How not to stress about the goal? Good question. You should stress about the goal a little. I want you to stress a little bit about your big goals. I do stress a little, not much. a little about my big goals. I want you to stress a little, but it's just a little. So you have to just put it in context. If I'm constantly stressing about this thing, I'm not going to be as effective at hitting the goal. And that's true. This is why I meditate almost every day. I meditate about 4 or 5 times a week. Just did it this morning. I don't want to stress too much about the goal. So meditate, sleep, water, focus on action, not the goal, the goal, the goal, the goal. Okay. Yes, I do affirmations. I do all those things. We teach that stuff. Okay. But it's not like I'm constantly stressing about the goal. I'm focused on the actions. Get the actions done. I'm going to go blurry in and out. That's just my webcam. So action focus rather than goal focus. So the way I do it is I focus on goals during my morning routine. The rest of the day is action. Action, 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 action. That is why I make far more money than many of you who are smarter than me. There are many of you on this live stream right now who have bigger IQs than me, far more educated than me, far more intelligent than me, far more articulate than me, that will never make anywhere near what I make because you're not focused on action, 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 action. You're focused on a bunch of learning and shit and thinking about stuff and stressing and no. Matter of fact, the next YouTube video, it's coming out today. It's on the Sovereign CEO channel. It's called Listics. Low income smart guys did a whole video about this. You smart guys are going to fucking hate it. And I'm glad. Because you smart guys got to get to work. Are you still planning to make an updated version of divorce statistics blog video? Yes, I am. That's way down the list, but yes, I am. Examples of business services. Oh my God, there's so many. There's accounting services. There's auditing services. There's engineering auditing services. There's development services. There's IT services. There are ergonomic services. I've heard all kinds of weird shit. Anything you can do to service a business that improves profitability and or sales is a business service. Okay. My dad started an EAP, employee assistance program, way back when this was a new concept where he did mental health counseling for your employees. And owners say, why do I give a shit about that? And he said, for every $1 you spend on mental health counseling for your employees, you get back $3 in saved costs in like turnover, absenteeism, mistakes, crap like that. And that's how he made his living. And my dad became a self-made millionaire. Took him a long time. He didn't work as hard as I did. His goals were different than mine, but that's an example of business. There's so many you can do. My God, anything, any skill set you have, most skill sets out there you could apply to a business. How do I improve sales or improve productivity? Profitability. I got productivity because that's what I do. How long do you think we've got to leave the US or Canada? I get that question. I'm asked that question probably every week. There is no answer. I don't know. My answer is as soon as you can. No, I can't tell you when America will collapse. No one knows when. I've said this on my blogs. I've said it in my videos. Anyone who says America is going to collapse next October 2023, they are either lying, stupid, or trying to sell you something. No one knows exactly when. My point is get out while the getting is relatively good. That's what I did in 2021. I said, I'm not going to wait till 2025, which is my original plan. I don't want to wait till it's bad and then figure out how to get out. Okay. People in Europe are doing with that now. People in Germany are dealing with that now. It's bad. They're trying to figure out getting out and it's fucking too late. Or now they're going to start a location independent business. And I say 2 to 5 years ago, oh my God, but it's bad now. Well, you should have moved out a long time ago. So as soon as you are able, Canada and the United States. Yeah. I'm interested in your Paraguay residency offer next year in March. Will this be able to obtain TR through the PR changes there? So here's the deal on that. I am going back and forth with my Paraguayan attorneys right now, this week, right now, like literally now. And I'm trying to get the final answer on this stuff. If I cannot get a final answer, or if the answer is, yeah, they're suspended, we don't know when, then we're going to push it back to summer of next year. We were going to do it in February, but I don't know yet. So I don't have an answer on that yet. So if any of you other P guys ask that question, I'm going to skip it because I don't know the answer yet. I'm not going to pay attention to anything that is said on the internet. I'm only going to pay attention to vetted attorneys. By the way, that is something you guys should do when you deal with 5 flags type stuff. Okay. Don't pay attention to what guys on the internet say. 80% of the time they are wrong. And at best, they say a few things that are correct and a few things that are wrong. Only work with vetted attorneys in that country. Then you'll get the correct answer. especially when you're dealing with South America and Paraguay. There's been so many falsehoods about getting Paraguayan residency and things like that on the internet. It's amazing. So I don't know yet. I'll let you know as soon as I know. Work on that literally right now. Of course, they do this right as I offer a service on how to do this. By the way, we are offering that same service next year for Dubai, Armenia, and Mexico, where you will fly to the country. You pay for your own flight, okay? But we cover everything else. We put you up in a hotel. We cover all your legal costs. We take you around the city. We take you, so you have to worry about transportation. You don't worry about anything, and you just get your residency. You don't have to do anything. You have to bring paperwork. That's it. Or mail us paperwork. We take care of everything. It's a flat cost. It's awesome. We're doing that for Paraguay if we're able to. I think we can, but I don't know when. We're doing that for UAE, Dubai. Here in Dubai, we're doing that for Mexico. We're doing it for Armenia. It's awesome. Can't wait. All next year. I've already lined this all up with all my attorneys and all my companies, and it's great. Do you agree that learning to be outcome independent is inefficient without solving the trauma issue first, aka inner work? It depends on what you mean by trauma. If it's trauma, yes. If you were sexually molested when you were a child, you got to deal with that. Yes. If you were physically beaten up, yes, that's real trauma. Now, if you define trauma as my girlfriend of 3 years broke up with me and I'm depressed, you're just being a fucking pussy beta male and you suck it up. That's not trauma. That's just life. So if it's real trauma, yes. I've said this many times. You have real trauma, you need to be working with a therapist. At least one, sometimes two therapists, depending on the nature of the trauma. Yeah, man. I've coached with guys who are like, I can't say the word on YouTube, RAPED. I mean, guys who had real trauma. And I'm like, I can't help you with that part. You need to work with a therapist. I can help you with the outcome independence in conjunction with therapists because I'm not a therapist. But yeah, if you have real trauma, deal with that. Absolutely correct. Real trauma. My wife left me. My girlfriend dumped me. You know, my mom's a bitch. This is not trauma. This is normal life in the collapsing Western world. Sorry. Suck it up. Stop being a beta. How do I manage the need for validations? I think this is a core issue why most issues rooted this. You're outcome dependent. Same problem. You have to ask yourself why. What are you missing inside that I'm looking externally for? There's something you're missing that you're looking for externally. When you guys need external validation, by the way, read The Unchained Man. I have a whole chapter on this. Okay. alphamalebook.com. I talk about this. It's called the 6 Societal Values. When you need validation externally and you're a man and you just desperately need it, there's something missing in you. You have to do some soul searching and looking inward to find out what you're missing in yourself. This is why I don't need validation from anybody, because I don't have any pieces missing. I didn't say I'm perfect. I have all kinds of flaws, but I don't have any pieces missing. So I don't seek validation outside. I don't. And most people do it. Now, men. Now, women are different. Women are different. Women's number one thing they need from men is attention. So they need validation. They're validation vampires. They need it. Okay. Every woman, unless she's very masculine. Masculine women don't need it as much because they're more like men. Okay. But if you're a guy and you need validation, find out what's wrong. It's hard. I understand it's not, I understand it's not something you can easily do. What are the requirements for obtaining residency in Paraguay? Are there any future expenses? I don't understand the question. So generally speaking, you'll need to deposit $5,200 in a bank account down there, and you'll get it back when the residency is done, generally speaking. You won't get it all back. You'll get, they'll keep about $1,000. They'll keep about $1,500. They'll just say, I don't know where that went. That's really weird. They won't have a real answer. Just welcome to South America. You'll need to get for Paraguay, you'll need to get a FBI report or criminal background report or police report that is dated less than 6 months. You'll need that. You will need, if you are married, you'll need a marriage certificate. Do you need a marriage? No, I don't think you need that. What else? Yeah, you'll need a marriage certificate, birth certificate, and you'll need to get these things apostilled, which means they are approved by, they're not just approved in the United States, they're apostilled for Paraguay in the United States. It's a process you need to go through. If you do our program, we do all this for you. So I don't know what we're going to do with it, though, because I got to find out what's going on with Paraguay and residency stuff. I don't even register myself as a voter for company. I don't give a shit too. Yes, voting in the modern era is become a completely emotional exercise. That includes your Republicans, right-wingers, tradcons, Trump supporters. You're just jerking off. But you might as well George Carlin said this many years ago. You might as well just stay home and jerk off. You'll affect the country just as much by staying home and jerking off as you will voting for Trump or DeSantis or Biden or Bernie Sanders. And you Canadians and you Western Europeans, this is literally a waste of your time. The only time voting makes sense is if you vote on a local level, your own municipal city, particularly if you live in a small city. I didn't say state level. Some guys say, yeah, I only vote at the state level. Most or many American states, maybe the majority, are bigger in terms of population and GDP than most countries. American states are the size of countries. So there's no point you voting for a state election. It's like voting for in your country. Voting for states at the state level is fucking stupid. It is a waste of your time. Build your location independent business. Internationalize your life. Fix your woman life. Okay? Work on your anti-aging if you're over 40. These things will help you and will save you. Trump will not, even if you get him reelected. Or Bernie Sanders or whatever savior you have in your head. It's not going to work. Sorry. Stupid. I mean, it barely worked even before America was collapsing. Now it doesn't work at all. Let's see. Women rely on manipulation and deception, whereas men need emotional detachment to safeguard themselves. Is OI the same thing? If so, is it even possible to get close to women without always being on guard? You can't always be on guard. That's a red pill thing. She might marry me and take half my money, that fucking bitch. That's a red pill. That's angry red pill leaning into black pill zone. I am not on guard with women, ever. I just don't give women the power over me. So I'm married, but she had to sign prenuptial paperwork that was 36 pages long that is enforceable on several different levels, and all my assets are internationalized. So even if she did do something, she couldn't get any of my money. Number one. Number two, I'm non-monogamous. I have sex with other women besides my wife every week. So if she says no, when we have sex, she says no, I go, okay. She doesn't control my dick. So now and this is also true before I was married. Don't give women the authority over you, and then you don't have to be on guard. That's what Alpha Male 2.0 is all about. Okay, when you embrace Alpha Male 2.0 relationship models, you're not on guard because now women can't hurt you. They can't take your money. They can't fuck up your sex life. They can leave. Okay, leave. I have 3 other women I'm seeing. Okay. And if you follow my models, I have a 94% return rate. So I'm like, all right, leave. I'll see you in a year. I don't say that. I think it. It's true. That's how you handle that. All my models are based around not having the problems that all the angry red pill guys have with women. You won't have these problems under an Alpha 2.0 model. You won't. I don't. I haven't for 15 years. You once mentioned that Americans are so angry. Yes. Do you attribute this to societal programming? Yeah. American societal programming is I hate people who don't think my way politically. I was just discussing this with my dad, of all people, because I was in the United States, believe me, very briefly last week. I had to make a quick visit over there. I hated it. Talked to my dad, and recent surveys have come out that historically Americans were pissy about things like race, right? I don't want to live next door to someone of different color skin, right? Historically, not today, okay? Then that morphed into the 80s, where I grew up, where it was religion. So in the 80s, if you were an evangelical Christian, you didn't want to live next door to an atheist. That's evil and satanic. Oh, no. Today, no one, statistically speaking, there are rare exceptions, but statistically speaking, Americans don't care about race. They don't care what color skin you are. They don't care, including right-wingers. They don't care. They don't care. They really don't care about religion at all. They don't give a fuck, including if you're a Christian. You know what they care about? They care about politics. And they care more about that than they did care about race or religion. So if you're a Trump supporter, you don't want to live next door to a socialist or a feminist. Fuck that shit. If you're a woke person, left-winger, you don't want to live next door to a Trumper. Fuck that. And you hate them more than you used to hate, or Americans used to hate, people of different religions or different races. Welcome to the collapsing United States in the 2020s. Welcome. What a great place to live. I wonder why I left. Real quick, I live here in Dubai. No one gives a fuck about politics in Dubai. You know why? It's not a democracy. And I've written about it in my blogs years ago why countries that are not democracies, small countries that are not democracies, generally are better than today's democracies. Because there's no arguing about it. You either come here and follow the rules or leave. There's no arguing about politics when it's a monarchy. So I live in a constitutional monarchy, kind of like Monaco. There's no politics. There's no political discussion here. You either move to Dubai, follow the rules, and 91% of people who live in Dubai are not from Dubai. They're here voluntarily. Or if you don't like it, you leave. There's no like, well, oh, God damn, I wish this person would get elected and take care of these things. Democracy sucks, especially when you're a libertarian. It's lame. Just means your taxes will be higher. I have an article in my blog. It's called Democracy or Freedom, Pick One. Why am I blurry? Democracy or freedom, pick one. The countries in the world that are the least unfree are not democracies as Westerners understand the word. But generally speaking, historically have been Hong Kong and Singapore. Not democracies, the way Westerners understand them. There are some democratic aspects, but they're not democracies that you just vote for whoever you want. And right, exactly. Why do you think so many Americans are depressed and on drugs? Because they live in a collapsing society. America used to be the greatest country in the world, and it was. It isn't anymore, but it was for a long time. Americans have watched their country get worse and worse every year for the past 30 years. Not quite 30 years. Definitely the last 20 years. That's hard. It's hard emotionally. Yeah. A lot of reasons. We could do a whole thing on that. Can you give a few examples of where you think Red Pill gets it wrong in terms of women dating and relationships? Red Pill is a door you pass through. It is not a house you live in. Okay? So Red Pill is very good at the diagnosis. It is very bad at the prognosis. So Red Pill is very good. Guys like Rollo are very good at telling you why we have the problems, why the problems exist. It's like when you go to school. Here's why the problems exist. The problem with Red Pill is, and there are exceptions, but generally speaking, they don't have any answers for what to do. The problem is this. Here's what you should do. Well, we really don't know. Or they'll make stupid things. They'll spout off stupid tradcon things like settle down with a woman who is in her early 20s or late teens. Don't marry her because marriage is bad, but settle down with her and have kids with her because she hasn't fucked too many guys yet. Okay, that's insane. If you settle down with an 18-year-old or a 22-year-old, I don't care how old you are, older or younger, you could guarantee you'll be, if it's a Western woman, you can guarantee you'll be divorced within 3 or 4 years. The divorce rate for the women that young is left at like 92%. It's just ridiculous advice. They don't know what to tell you. And so they make up stupid shit, or they just kind of go back to talk about feminists and socialists and woke people and, thoughts and all that stupid shit. Okay. Alpha widows and fuck. Why do I keep going up? I love this webcam, dude. You know why I keep going up blurry is because I move my hands. Come on. There we go. I should just hold my hands down here like this and not move. I have too much energy. It's the testosterone talking. How much are your consultations? I do not do one-on-one coaching. I lose too much money, even if I charge thousands of dollars. I do not do one-on-one coaching. What you should do if you're interested in this is you need to go to 500k.io. That is the 500k business accelerator that gives you an entire year of coaching, some of which is with me, a lot of which is with my coaches. We work through an entire year, one-on-one coaching for a year. Okay. We're almost the deadline for that. I mean, I guess you could, but you could if you wanted to. I don't do one-on-one, one-off coaching. I just don't do it. The opportunity cost for me is too high. Got too many things going on, making too much money. In relationships lasting many years with a considerable emotional investment, pair bonding is relationship equity really a fallacy, and will women leave anyway? If so, how is a man to be OI about this? Relationship equity is a fallacy, correct. That doesn't exist. I've written an article many years ago called The Myth of the 50-50 Relationship. There is no such thing. And this is the relationship that every woman with a boyfriend or wife says they have. We have a 50-50 relationship. And the little beta male husband's like, yeah, we do. Yeah, it's 50-50. Oh, yeah, I have a lot to say. That's right, he does. That's right. And she's all strong and confident. That's right, he does. That's right. My favorite quote I heard from a woman was she was married to a beta male husband. And we were talking. I said, your beta male husband, I didn't say these exact words, but this is what I said. Your beta male husband doesn't dominate you in bed. He doesn't dominate the fuck out you during sex. He doesn't do that. You know he doesn't do that. And she goes, he does if I tell him to. Not understanding what she just said. Anyway, so correct. There is no such thing as relationship equity. There is always someone who has at least a 70-30 leadership role in the relationship. Usually in the modern era, that is a woman. and it's, a dominant woman with a beta male man. If you're an alpha male 1.0 and it's a serious, you're going to have a 60-40 or 70-30 or 80-20 relationship where you are on top, at least to some degree. I didn't say like 99-1 because that would be pretty bad. So, correct. What else did you ask about this? Will women leave anyway? You should assume a woman will leave. Women are biologically wired to get bored with long-term sexual monogamous male partners. That's just biology. There's nothing you can do with that. Now, what you can do is you can do your best to put some of the odds in your favor. So if the odds for leaving are 90%, there's things you can do to, jack that down to maybe 70%, 65%. I don't know the exact percentages. But you should never be surprised. I just wrote about this when that football player just got divorced. I don't follow sports. The guy married to Giselle. I said, no man should ever be surprised when a woman leaves him. That'd be true with me. If Pink Firefly left me tomorrow, I'd be sad. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm like, all right. I would know exactly what to do. It'd be over within 48 hours and my life would continue. I'd be just fine. Okay. So how can you be OI about that? Other things in your life besides women. Your mission should not be focused on women. You should have a strong mission that should have nothing to do with any one particular woman and ideally not that woman focused. Okay? My mission has nothing to do with women. Nothing. Okay? My mission has to do with putting myself out in the world, business, money, and travel. Nothing to do with chicks. Okay? That's what you do. How common is it for sugar daddies that actually pay to run into legal problems? 2% rule. SD-SB relationships might be confused with prostitution. It's important to stay on the right side of the law. That is a 2% rule. I've literally never heard of it. Never heard of a sugar daddy getting in legal trouble. Ever. And I have thousands of guys in my audience doing this. I've never heard of it. I have barely heard of anyone getting in trouble for hookers. Because I've got guys in my audience who do that. I don't recommend that, but yeah, that's 2% rule stuff. Just if you're nervous about that, don't discuss the transactional aspect of the relationship. You will fuck me and I will pay you $200 on the site. Do it some other way if you're really concerned about that. And don't say sex. Say hang out or private time. Okay, because my understanding is most governments can't hit you up for because you didn't say sex. You see why this is like a 2% rule thing? It's not something you should worry about. What are a few not so obvious examples of betazation women employ that men succumb to? Death by 1,000 cuts. The betazation is lots of little tiny things. Anything you could think of. I draw them a blank right now because I don't really have this problem in my life. Any little thing, any little request she makes of a regular behavior you have to change. Even if you view it as tiny, is considered betazation. Betazation is not like, well, it can be, but often, especially for men like us, betazation is not these big, giant demands that she makes. Because if you do this right, she's not going to make those kinds of demands. It's tiny little things you have to be aware. When you're an alpha male 2.0 in a high-end MLTR or OLTR relationship, and I'm in that category, I have an OLTR wife, you need to be aware of the little things. Because that's what she'll do. She'll give you little pinpricks. Be aware. My logical brain understands that Madonna whore concepts is dumb and unproductive, and it's also false. But my emotional brain lets it seep in occasionally. That is societal programming. Will more experiences with women in time help this go away? Yes, correct. What's considered real money? How much? You will be making at least $1,000 in profit within 90 days from a customer base, or else that's it. If you're making any less than that, we work with you forever. And over time, I'm going to raise that number. I want to raise that number to 5,000 and then 10,000, because once you have a business that's making $1,000 in 90 days, all you have to do is keep doing what we showed you to do to scale that. That's easy. That's the easy part. Getting started is the hard part. Creating that momentum is the hard part. Once it's rolling, that's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to get more customers when you have customers. In one of your books, I think you say that you only had hard next women twice. That is correct. I was wondering if you give any details about these situations, but not too personal. I don't think I remember. Let me think a minute. Let me think. I don't remember. It was so long ago. One woman gave me drama. She screamed at me. I don't remember. Oh, one woman stole from me. She stole a bunch of cash out of one of my drawers. I left her home alone one day, and she went through my drawers and stole money out of my hard next. And I liked her too. She was pretty hot. I don't remember the other one. Had some new drama. I remember someone giving me drama. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. So long ago. So many women, so many years. I've been doing this 15 years. I don't remember that shit. I'd have to look that up in my spreadsheets. But I don't track hard necks, so they never happened to me. I don't know. Crypto Kate. Oh, I remember Crypto Kate was the best female commenter on my blog. She offered very informative and detailed perspectives of the female experience. Maybe you could hear up for a Q&A or something like that. Hey, that's a really good idea. I have no idea where she is. I don't know if I can find her. But let me put that to-do item. Hang on. Hit up Crypto Kate for QA. No promises. I haven't talked to her in a bazillion years. Or Lover Girl, any of those girls. Cougar Baby is a friend of mine, so I know her. And Pink Firefly was doing some stuff too. And there's a few other women on there. But yeah, no promises, but I'll give it a try, sure. In your 12-hour week hands-on program, this fast tracks our success to location-dependent income. Would you say $85K in less than 12 months? I have to be very careful making those kinds of claims legally, so I can't say that. However, here's how I'll say it. In theory, okay, you have to read between the lines of what I'm saying to you, okay? In theory, you go through the 90-day program. You do what we tell you to do because that's a requirement of the program. If you just stop doing what we tell you to do, you're out of the program. We had to kick a few people out because they just didn't do the work, okay? You have to do the work. You do what we tell you to do. You keep up on the assignments, which are not that hard. We give you plenty of time to do them. We actually take it easy on you, okay? But you do what you do. You do what you're supposed to do. 90 days, and you're making that money. You're making a little money in 90 days. You keep doing that hardcore, and you focus on marketing. In theory, you might be able to do $85K in a year, yes. In theory. I'm not saying results not typical. I love laws. It's great. I love laws that inhibit freedom of speech. They're fantastic. I think it's fucking great. What is the best time to pitch a date? After texting with a woman? I already asked that question. How do you think your 15, 16-year-old self would have reacted to the endless internet porn we have today? Good question. So I would have utilized it, but I have never been super into porn. And that's just a personality thing. I'm not trying to brag or anything. I have brothers who are around my age, who I grew up with, who were super into porn, who are around my age, and they were raised with the same genetics and same parents. So both nature and nurture. I was never super into porn. I'm a man. Of course, I watched it. But my brothers, at one point, not lately, but when they were younger, okay, they would have remember those days used to burn DVDs and burn CDs? They would have stacks of CDs they burn of porn. Stacks and stacks. And they would talk about it, and they would do it every day. And it was just a really big part of their lives. So I wouldn't have been affected horribly. But certainly I would have been affected. Absolutely. Sure. No question about that. In many respects, you guys have it worse. You young guys have it worse today in many respects. In many respects, you have it better. You know how hard it was to start a fucking location-dependent business to get to real money back in the 1980s, 1970s, 1950s? Oh, my God. Today, it's fucking easy. So in some respects, you have it easier. And in some respects, you have it harder. Focus. Focus. I always have to say focus with a Japanese accent. That's an old Robin Williams joke where the Japanese tourist would be like fucking his camera. Oi, focus, focus. Let's see here. Where are we? What are some technique skills to develop to become outcome independent? For example, is it meditation and or affirmations, anything else? Those will all help. Those won't do it. Those will all help. The main technique is the one I told you. Yes, affirmations will help. Meditation will help. Getting enough sleep, you motherfuckers. You guys aren't getting enough sleep. You need to be in bed at least 7 hours a night. I am in bed 8 hours and 50 minutes a night. I track my sleep carefully with this ring right here. Oura Ring, $300, best $300 you'll ever spend. Matter of fact, in our coaching program, it's not 90 Day Business Builder, but our other ones, it's mandatory you buy one of these. You have to buy an Oura Ring. This will change your fucking life. So sleep, water intake, all that stuff. Yes, that will help. Absolutely. Ah, Andrew Tate's back. Cool. And I just said the name, so now I'm going to get banned. Do you think of places like Colombia or Brazil will get oversaturated beta males who want cheap sex competing with us alpha male 2.0s? So that's an interesting question. That's a very long topic. The alpha male 2.0 has no competition. We don't. Trust me, we don't. And I have put that to the test in many scenarios in the last few years that are even at a higher level than I was doing earlier. We have no competition. Beta males are no competition for you. That's already true. The vast majority of men in the Western world are beta males. That's true in the United States. Do you think I have competition for women in the United States? Nope. You think I have competition, real competition for the hot girls here in Dubai? Yes, there are men here with a lot of money. There are a lot of oil money here who can throw money around, and they can see women occasionally. But in terms of women seeing me on a regular basis, no. So you have nothing. If you are alpha 2.0, that's a big if, because it's hard. Not hard. It's emotionally hard for some of you. You won't have competition. I never need to worry about this. You will never need to worry about sexual abundance for the rest of your life when you assume an alpha male 2.0 lifestyle and mindset. And that's a literal truth. The men who have to worry about this are betas. They have to worry about this a lot. Alpha male 1.0s, to a degree, have to worry about this because they have to compete with other alpha male 1.0s. So alpha male 1.0s have to compete with other 1.0s. There's a lot of conflict about that. We don't have to compete with alpha 1.0s. Women, when they find you, because there's alpha 2.0s are so rare, they will just flock to you. They will be so happy. Oh my God, thank God. There are things I could tell you that I can't tell you in my personal life that it just, again, like me 25 years, you wouldn't believe it. Women who are Instagram models with millions of followers pursue me. Not like desperately pursue me, but you think they have options for men? Yeah. Why are they texting me? Are there better looking men than me? Yep. Are there richer men than me? Yep. Especially here in Dubai. Okay. Why are they texting me? Alpha male 2.0. So I can't give you details. Sorry. Let's see. I notice when I'm calm and I slow things down in my brain that my confidence is cool and I'm able to process, but my ego tells me that I'm being passive and not pushing it. Thoughts. A little of that is okay. I think it is healthy if you're motivated, want to live above average lifestyle, if you want to be a high performance person, which is not alpha 2.0, it's a different category person. Not only am I an alpha male 2.0, I'm also high performance. You want to be a high performance person, you want a little bit of that. I want to feel a little twinge of guilt when I don't work. And I should be working. I want to feel, even if I take a little break, I want to be aware of how long that break is. When I take little breaks, I'm aware. I got work to do. I don't want to take too long of a break here. What is most guys? They don't work at all. They don't care. They'll get on YouTube for 3 hours. Right? They'll watch Netflix and smoke weed and jerk off to porn and play Fortnite. Do they still play Fortnite? See how old I am? For hours and hours, and it won't bother them at all. And that's not good. So you want a little bit of that, like I said. Life is so pleasant and peaceful when you just don't give a shit. You're right. Will you offer the 500K Business Builder again? 500K Business Accelerator. Yes, but it's going to be a while. So if you're interested, you should do it now. If you can't afford it now, it's a little more expensive than Business Builder, right? I was going to offer it. Here's some inside baseball with my company. Just had a management meeting yesterday for Sovereign CEO. And I was going to offer it again relatively soon. And everyone on my management team said, don't do it. Wait a long time for that program, for the 500K program. Now, not that a Business Builder. Wait a long time before you offer that again. I went, all right. They had to provide me. I said, I will if this and this and this. And they said, okay, with this. I said, all right, fine, I will. Top 5 easiest place to get residency money and time. I know you mentioned how easy Armenia is previously, but a personally off the top of your head. All the ones that I recommend. I only recommend, I'm not like Andrew Henderson, where I cover the entire planet and I discuss how to get a residency anywhere in the world. That's silly. Not silly for him, but that would be silly for me. I think that's dumb. I only recommend the countries that are easy to get residency. So here we go. There's about 4 or 5. Armenia, UAE, which is Dubai, Mexico, Paraguay. Those 4. Those are the easiest ones to get. Bam. And if you ask me 5 years from now, this list will change. We're constantly changing these things. Okay. It used to be a while ago, Panama. That's not easy anymore now, nor do I recommend it. Right. Swords behind the chairs looking badass, like the Iron Throne of Game of Thrones. Dun 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 dun. Has Paraguay changed the risk? I already answered that question earlier. The Philippines has just announced they're going to allow travel to their country without the jab. Good. I've been waiting. Good for them. Excellent. There go all the loser guys who can't get laid in their own country off the Philippines. Oh, don't. Now let's be nice. Sometimes that is a stepping stone. Sometimes guys need to go through that process to become better men. So, and yes, you have loser guys going there too. You're right. I recommend Philippines for a lot of men. It's fine. It's a good book. What, my book? Good. I don't validate myself at all. My entire living is automatic validation from others, not for myself. My entire living on automatic is validation from others. That's, if I understand your comment correctly, that's very, very, very bad. I don't need validation from anyone. You know what my validation comes from? My own results. Now, I said I don't need validation from anyone. I don't need love from anyone. I like my wife to love me. That's kind of nice. She's my wife. I'd like my children to love me. They're my kids. I don't need validation from my wife. I don't need validation from my children. I don't need validation from anyone in my audience. I don't need validation for anybody. Any woman I have sex with. My mom and my dad, I don't need validation from them. Most of you, vast majority of you, can't say everything I just said. There's someone or certain people in your life you need validation from. You're fucked if that's you. Not good. Is OI state dependent? Can you OI if you're not feeling happy, pepped? Yes, you can feel OI if you're not feeling happy and pepped. I'm OI consistently, even when I'm frustrated about something. I'm still OI. Yeah, because if I'm frustrated, it'll be a few minutes and I'll be on to the next thing. Right. Is your experience in dating outside the Western world a lot easier? And do you think women are higher quality? So, boy, that's a complicated question. Is it a lot easier? No, because it was already easy for me in the United States, but I've spent over a decade building up my woman skills and outcome independence, all that stuff. So you're asking the wrong guy. I'm not a Roosh. I'm not a guy who couldn't get laid in the United States and was frustrated with women in the United States and then went to Eastern Europe or South America to get pussy. I never went through that process. I got good in the United States and then I left the United States. Is it easier? It's not easier, but the women have lower ASD. That's absolutely true. So various scenarios are easier to put together outside the Western world than they are. So like referral game, where you're dating a woman or having sex with a woman and she helps you have sex with all of her hot girlfriends, way easier in South America than it is the United States. Way easier. Way easier. I mean, it's like night and day. But, you know, is it easier across the board in South America? I mean, maybe. Are the women higher quality? It depends on what you mean by quality. Every guy has a different opinion about this. Depends on what you mean by quality. Are they hotter? I mean, women in the United States and Westworld are fatter, but you're not. But see, the reason I don't get worked up about that, like a lot of men do, women are going fat, they're really go fat. Don't date fat Western women. I don't. You only date the hot Western women. So you got to compare the hot Western women to the hot women in other countries. They're both hot. You see my point? So it's not just they're higher quality or lower quality. It's a little more detailed than that. You have to ask me something more specific, and I gave more specific answers. The why do I care question you ask, what if the answer is because I will feel pain, death if I do not get the result I need? I'm outcome dependent, making money enough to eat. Is that really true of you? I think you're just pulling out a hypothetical out of your ass. You really need to be outcome independent, or else you won't eat and you'll starve to death? No, I think you're full of shit. And if you're not, be more specific on, give me another question, be more specific about that. I don't do silly hypotheticals. How much the residency program we walk us through the process cost estimation? The Paraguayan one will be several $1,000s. You also will probably need $5,000, but that is refundable to put in a bank down there and you get it back in a few months. So you have to add that to the cost, but that's not really a cost. You get it back. I don't know, several $1,000s because we're going to pay for your legal fees. We're going to pay for your hotel. We're going to pay for your transportation. We're going to do a seminar or two while you're down there. We're going to do a lot of stuff for you. So several grand. We're going to do all your paperwork for you. So I don't know what the number is. I have a number in my head, but I don't want to quote it because it could be wrong. I don't know. Honestly, the U.S. federal government needs to be dissolved. I've been saying that for 20 years. The states are better off running themselves. Correct. The perfect solution, the least bad solution for the United States, I said this 20 years ago. I wrote an article about this about 10 years ago about how it would work, is that not even the states, because the states wouldn't work because there's too many states that are landlocked. You need a port. Okay, so here's how you do this. Here's how you fix the United States. This is the least bad scenario. This would be wonderful. This happened, I would move back to the United States immediately. Okay, it's not going to happen because Americans are not creative anymore. You take the continental United States, okay? You draw a line down the middle. You draw several lines, maybe 10 of them across the entire continental United States. So now you end up with something like 20, 10, 20, 25 long, skinny countries, all of which that have a port, that have a coastline. And now you break those up into their own countries. And you have every country represent some kind of political viewpoint. So you have a libertarian country. You have a socialist country. You have a Democrat country. You have a Trump country. You have a evangelical Christian right-wing Pat Buchanan type country. You have a corporatist country. And just have all these different kind of countries. And then you say to Americans, all right, move to whichever country most reflects your viewpoint, your worldview. 1, 2, 3, go. Just move. And everyone moves, and they go, and they end up in a country that is exactly what they like, and now everybody's happy. And yes, some countries would collapse. The socialist one, okay, the neoconservative one. Some countries would do amazing, like the libertarian one. And you just sit back and watch, wait 25 years, see which ones do well. I know which ones would do well. I would move to the libertarian one. Okay. You could have an anarchist one, no laws. You go there and just take your life in your own hands. Okay. Everything you think of. That's what I do. Have you heard of the kind of gaming streamer Destiny? Yes, I am well aware of Destiny. He has open marriage that's kind of similar to yours, but probably different. My understanding is that his wife does have sex with lots of other men. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know this, but I think that's the criticism he gets. His wife goes off and fucks other dudes. My wife doesn't. She's allowed to, but she doesn't. So, but other than that, yes, I think you're right about that. I've heard a few things, but I don't follow politics too hard. So he's a political guy. So there you go. You've seen George Carlin, American Dream Talk on HBO Max. I have not. I should, huh? I've read his autobiography. No. You say 3 photos are best for online dating. For most men, yes, I agree. However, certain apps like Hinge force you to put a minimum of 6 photos. Right. What would you suggest doing in situations like this? Follow the exact same models I talk about in the Ultimate Open Relationships Manual, updated for the 2020s, available at onlinedatingsuccessnow.com. Follow the same models. Make sure the photos are amazing, of you wearing colors that are good for your skin tone, eye color, hair color, modern styles. Make sure there's something in the back that looks cool. Make sure all 6 photos are different. Just do the best you can. Follow the same processes. How do you recommend organizing your projects list? By categories, 7 life areas, anything else? Any tips to set up your project list in general? Well, your project lists are not to-do lists. Those are projects. And so if you want to define one of your SLA as a project, you can certainly do that. Depends how complicated you get. So for example, my woman life always comprised several projects. So even today, I don't do a project list like this anymore. But even today, if I were to, well, not like that. If I were to designate my woman life as a project list, it would be at least 2. I would have my marriage to Pink Firefly. That'd be a project, an ongoing, never-ending project. Okay. Then I would have another project I have called Super FB, which is that thing I've talked about. I haven't talked about this a lot publicly. I've talked about a lot of this in our coaching programs, like the SMIC program, join SMIC.com, where I'm trying to find this one main FB who Pink Firefly likes, who I stick with long-term. So I primarily have my wife and this Super FB, which is not an FB, but it's not an MLTR. It's a 3rd category or 4th category. So that's a project. And that'd be it. So it's 2 projects. See that? So usually an SLA will be a little more complicated than 1 project. Usually. Now, maybe if you have a spiritual life, that might be 1 project, right? So it depends what you're doing. Good question. Live in a big city with a lot of different types of neighbors in my building. It's okay. I don't know what you're referring to. Warren Buffett wants 90% of his wealth to go to the S&P 500 after he dies. How would you respond to this, considering he's one of the richest men alive recommending this? I don't understand. He wants 90% of his wealth to go to the S&P 500 or be invested in it. I don't understand your question, so clarify. The good thing about small countries is they don't require lots of money and resources to run versus a giant global empire like the United States. Correct. That's one of the many reasons small countries are better. Small countries are better. Small countries are better. Every big country on the planet right now is a goddamn clusterfuck. The good ones and the bad ones. United States, UK, Russia, China, India. These are all cluster-fucked countries. Okay? You can find less bad countries that are small. Georgia, UAE, Paraguay, Singapore. The best countries are the small ones, and that's always been the case, and it always will be the case. And I promise you, if there's some reason the UAE suddenly, like, this wouldn't ever happen logistically, but let's say it went from, I know, population 8 million people to population 100 million people, I'd be out of here. I don't want to live in a big country because it'd be a big clusterfuck and they'd have huge tax rates and they'd be printing a bunch of money and they'd be woke and all that. No. Stupid. Stupid. I don't know why you guys stay in the United States. I understand it. I do understand it emotionally. I don't understand it logistically. Belarus is a great country to live in. You know, are you the same guy who keeps saying that? I think you are. For the same reason as Dubai, you could get on life without all the politics. You really love Belarus. Belarus is probably not the country I would choose to live in, but I understand your point. It's not a democracy. True. I know some people from Belarus. I have a friend from Belarus. How do you confirm a prenup is enforceable? I've heard from many red pill or even people in general say, yeah, you got a prenup, but it's not enforceable. That's correct. How can you affirm your prenup is actually effective? Here's what you do. Great question. You need to get on the phone with a divorce attorney or family attorney in your city. In your city. In your city. If they charge $100, pay the $100 and ask them, if I get a prenuptial agreement, and they're not called prenuptial agreements, every state has a different name for this, every country, they're really not called that anymore. Every region has a different name for this. But when I get that thing and she signs it and we get divorced and she goes to challenge it in court, what happens? Is it actually enforced? Am I rock solid protected? If he says, if you do this, this, and this, yes, it's rock solid. Okay. Now, likely he will not say that because enforceable prenuptial agreements, where the red pill guys are accurate, is that most regions of the Western world, prenups are not enforceable anymore. They're not. There are few left. So if he says that, then yes. If he says, well, then it's not enforceable. Okay. Or if he says, well, I can't guarantee anything, then it's not enforceable. Okay. So don't get legally married if it's not enforceable where you live. Or get legally married, but make sure you're 100% offshore with all of your assets, like me. I have no assets within the United States except for a few business entities and some checking accounts, which have money in, money out, money in, money out. Okay. I have no long-term assets anywhere in the United States. So if you try to sue me, good luck. Pink Firefly wants to divorce me. She doesn't. But if she did, and she actually would contest the prenup in court, which she can't. But let's say something weird happened and she did. Good luck going after my money. I don't have any money. It's all, not in the U.S. What is the IRS or some attorney or some court going to do if you've got a bunch of money in Bitcoin or a bunch of real estate in Southeast Asia, or you've got accounts in Hong Kong, or you've got stocks in Armenia? That's my point. You got gold bars in Australia or Singapore. You see my point? So that. I know you said that women are 25, the divorce rate is 92%. Something like that. I don't know the exact number. Don't quote me, but something like that. But would you also count with women that are in the 18-25 range in South America and Eastern Europe? South America? Fuck yes. Divorce is rampant in South America. My God. Eastern Europe? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's a little lower in Eastern Europe, but not much. Yes, this is a worldwide phenomenon. There are a few places left where the divorce rate has not skyrocketed yet, like Taiwan, parts of India. That's about it. A few more, one or two places I'm not thinking of. Yes. Women do not like staying with the same monogamous male partner the rest of their lives. They like it for a few years, then they want out. It's the way they work. Your odds are better if you're non-monogamous in an OLTR marriage like I've got. Okay. My wife is terrified that we might get divorced. She's terrified. That's her biggest fear. Okay. Because prenuptial agreement, separation of finances, non-monogamous marriage, blah, blah, international, blah, blah. Okay. So I'm not saying my odds are 100%. They're not. I can still get divorced. My odds are a lot lower than the typical guy. And my wife's an American. She's one of those evil American women. She's an American who lives in Dubai with me, but still. Does Western American media and advertising in non-Western major cities, Medellin, Guadalajara, ever annoy you? No. Could Western gentrification potentially ruin these expat hotspots? No. I like American capitalism. That's one of the few things about America I like. No, I don't. Now, America is not a capitalist country, to be clear. It's a corporatist country, which is even worse than socialism. But no, that doesn't bother me. But again, I'm outcome independent. With that statement, hey guys, I want to bring this up. This question is an outcome dependent question. I don't mean to pick on you, Shaquille Oatmeal. This is an outcome dependent question. This is you giving a shit about something that doesn't matter to you. Shouldn't care about any of this. The advertising doesn't even register with me. I don't even care. I don't even give a shit. I'm trying to become an expat at first dates. Oh, sorry. I got sovereign CEO in my head. I'm trying to become an expert at first dates. Good. Red, get to 6 fast, but starting to plateau. Anyone else resources or materials you recommend for this, or videos examples of first dates? I cannot give you video examples of first dates. As I talk about my Tom Torero video, I would get sued into oblivion if I did that, even if I got her permission. So no. And if I got a permission, then it wouldn't count, right? Guys say, oh, it's fake. See, you'll never see that from me because we live in an era where that's just not possible. Anyone else's materials? So, boy, on the pickup stuff, all of my guys who I recommend are dated. Like Good Looking Loser was pretty good. This is not day game stuff. This is like, first date type stuff. I'm drawing a blank. Not really. There's so many resources on night game and day game. Not a lot of resources on how to do a date, which is why I wrote a book about it. Plateauing means you're doing something wrong, by the way. You don't plateau on female skill sets. That's not like losing weight. You don't plateau. You're doing something wrong. You've changed your approach, or you've changed the type of woman you're dating. Let me check my phone here real quick. Hey. Pink Firefly, can you hear me? Sweetie? I hear her out there. I should just text her. She might be going to bed. It's 10:30 here in Dubai. Oh, well. She needs me, she'll text. How about I unsilence my phone in case she bothers me. So that she can say I'm going to bed. Let's see. Where was I? Caleb, while I'm on my way to become full Ape 2, I wanted to know, I missed a shift at work, called in though, and my coworker gave me a lecture. Your coworker? Fuck your coworker. Didn't really give a shit, so I said okay and walked away. Good. Is that OI? Yes. Your coworker has no authority over you. Your coworker can go fuck themselves. Now, if your boss lectures you and is upset, that's a problem. Still wouldn't care, but you might risk getting fired if you care about that job. But your coworker, fuck that. Fuck the coworker. Thoughts on being a stepfather? I am a stepfather, or I was. Not sure if your kids are yours biologically. Well, one is, one isn't. But I'd rather not be a stepdad, but I like this girl. So I will be honest with you. I love my son, and I'm glad he's in my life. He's a gift to me. I'm super proud of him. He's amazing beyond belief. And I get a little emotional when I talk about my kids. That being said, yeah, being a stepdad with his mom, that was my first wife, one of the most difficult things I went through. Very hard for her, very hard for me, very hard on him. So I do not recommend being a stepdad. Period. End of story. I just don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Don't recommend it at all. And that's even where I was at least smart enough back then when I was a kid, when I got married the first time, to mandate to her that the biological father, who he barely knew, was not in the picture, because then it's even worse. There's another dad. You got to deal with the bio dad. Oh my God. I don't know why guys put up with that shit. So no, I would not recommend it. I wouldn't. I'm sorry. Keep her as an MLTR. Okay. Enjoy her, but I would not OLTR someone who with a kid who is little, who they will expect you to be a stepdad to. Can you do it? Yes, I did it. I pulled it off. My son turned out well, but boy, was it hard. It was really hard. And I was not prepared. I was also a kid. But I wouldn't do it again. I mean, if Pink Firefly was a parallel universe and Pink Firefly was in my life, and I wouldn't marry a woman, or settle down with a woman, I should say, with a small child that I had to raise as a stepdad. Here's why. She will always take the kid's side, even if it's a maniac little kid. My son wasn't, but I know a lot of guys who are stepdads. She'll always take his side or her side over yours. That's bad enough when you have your own biological children, but it's double, triple harder when it's not your biological child. It's just, again, biological wiring for a mom to protect her. That's my kid. Well, if it's your kid, then why am I paying for it? Get out of my house. I would not recommend it. Okay, so if you're leaning, can do more content on Dubai. Yes, the reason I haven't is because it has been the worst time to be in Dubai. June, July, August. September is reasonably bad. October was an unusually hot month all over the world, Europe especially, but Dubai here too. So I haven't wanted to go out and shoot video. Now Dubai weather is getting awesome. So for the next 5-6 months, it's going to be fucking perfect here. So yes, now the content will start again. But you don't want to do Dubai content June, July, August. You just don't. Caleb, in your blogs, you say looks are important, but your non-physical traits, i.e. confidence, are more important for getting women. I don't know about more important. They're equally important. Do you still believe this despite the rise of black pill? I didn't say more important. They are as important. 4 things that are all important. Okay. Confidence, outcome independence, physical appearance. Okay. And dating skill. And dating skill is the least important of those 4, but it's still critical. Still important. Because you can get along with, that was me. In 2007, I was going on dates and having sex, but it was very messy, with pretty girls with no dating skill. I had a lot of confidence. I had, fake outcome independence. My looks were not good, but I did everything else I could, and I had no skill whatsoever. And it was messy. It was a lot of work, but I was getting laid. I wasn't an incel. I was getting pussy. Okay. So those 4 things. Black pill says, no, confidence means nothing. Outcome independence means nothing. Dating skill really means nothing. It's 100% about looks. Wrong. And that's factually wrong. I've coached with guys who are fucking gorgeous and can't get laid. I'm fucking gorgeous and can't get laid. Okay. I've shown YouTube clips of videos of chubby homeless guys getting laid with hot chicks, or cute girls at least. I've pointed at YouTube videos of ripped 6-pack ab guys who are gorgeous, who've never kissed a girl, and they're crying into the camera. It's not true. It's not correct. There are guys in the sugar daddy sites with, this isn't looks, this is money. So they say looks are money, right? They'll offer $10,000 to a pretty girl to have sex with them. And the girl, oh, fuck no, they'll leave. And these guys can't get a single girl to go on a date with. Okay. So black pill is just a bunch of children making excuses. Let's see. Yep. One of your swords is missing. Who's the barbarian been a battle with? One of my swords is missing? No, it's just the angle. The angle you see there looks like it's missing. It's not. How does one balance Alpha 2.0 and taking care of small children like toddlers? My kids take up a lot of my time. Read my book. I have 2 chapters on how to be an alpha male 2.0 father. Here's the bottom line. You will not like this. When you have children, the woman must take 90% care of the kids. Otherwise, you have no freedom. This has nothing to do with being a right-winger or a traditional conservative or an anti-feminist or that stuff. No, it's just logistically. You just said it takes up a lot of your time. How are you going to work on your mission? How are you going to build your income? How are you going to build your empire? How are you going to have time to have sex with other women? Because you can't be monogamous. That'll ruin your relationship. If you're spending, 20 hours a week dealing with little kids, you can't. It's a logistical reality. So I talk about this in the book. I didn't say you don't spend any time with your kids. I didn't say the woman spends 90% of the time with your kids. You only spend 10%. I'm talking about the logistical issues of raising the kids has to be 90% her responsibility, or you shouldn't do it. You cannot be an alpha male 2.0 if in the middle of the night, the baby starts crying and your wife or live-in girlfriend hits you in the head like in the movie says, your turn. That's beta shit. I'm sorry. Sorry. That doesn't work. Doesn't work. Dude, you got to get on the Rumble train. I have been on Rumble for years. I love how everyone loves Rumble now that Andrew Tate's there. And before Andrew Tate was there, no one talked about Rumble, even though I've been on there for at least a year or two. Endorsing it. Freedom of speech is coming back. No, freedom of speech is not coming back. You are incorrect. Freedom of speech is going to get worse and worse and worse. The United States in particular, and Canada and Europe will give you more and more left-wing, and you'll have less and less free speech every year. You're dealing with fantasies. You're blowing smoke up your own ass. I'm sorry. Why is free speech coming back if Andrew Tate can't post on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or Twitter? Is free speech coming back? He's imprisoned in Rumble. You think he's happy about that? Is free speech coming back? No, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Get out of the United States. What are your top 5 airlines? Air Travel went to hell in so many ways. Well, it went to hell since 9/11. Oh, shit, I can't say that. It went to hell since that event where airplanes crashed into certain buildings. So it's been in hell. I've written articles about my blogs, my adventures with flying. Favorite airlines. So I don't have the top 5 favorite. The ones I like. Emirates, one of the best airlines in the world. It's the one I use here in Dubai. So I'm on Emirates most of the time. I'm a silver tier. I'm almost gold tier on Emirates now, just the last 2 years. Cathay Pacific is very good. I can't think of anything else that a good airline. There's one other I'm trying to think of. I can't remember. Shit, I don't remember. Those are the only 2. Yes. Airline sucks. It's quasi-governmental. That's why. Which country would you go to first to escape the West EU? Paraguay, income is low. Income is low. Lots of options. Paraguay is my favorite, but a lot of people hate Paraguay because it's boring. Colombia is good. Watch the tax laws. Colombia's cheap. Thailand is fine. Uruguay is great. A lot of places you can go. What can you do every day to get more and more outcome independent? Tips. Ask yourself why. Review your goals. Review your mission. I do this every morning. I do my affirmations every morning, my goals. I write down my goals every morning. I visualize my goals. I go meditate every morning at least 5-6 days a week. That kind of stuff. Just do that. Sleep and water. That's it. What about the best countries where paying less taxes, getting laid, balance out? Low tax, hot women. I know it can be subjective with the women aspect, but just personal opinion. Any territorial tax country where the women are cute. Again, my favorite is Paraguay. Territorial tax country, and the women are cute. They're not gorgeous. They're not like Colombians, but they have what daddy likes. The little tiny bodies, white skin, and big asses. Huge asses that are like perfect. That's Paraguay. Now, if that's not your model, that's not your template, then you should go to Colombia or go to here in Dubai. There's zero tax. There's a lot of territorial tax countries. I should do a YouTube video where I list all the territorial tax countries. Territorial tax countries means if you live there, they only tax your money you make in the country. If you make it anywhere from outside the country, they don't tax it because they don't care. Which, by the way, is how all countries should be. For fuck's sake. There shouldn't even be an income tax. There should just be a sales tax. That's it, like here in Dubai. And I said that years before I even planned on moving to Dubai. I said in my blogs, the only valid tax to have is a sales tax, a flat sales tax and everything. 2, 3, 4%. That's it. That's all you need. Hey, Caleb, if the U.S. had used money they wasted in pointless wars to instead give their people free healthcare and basic government housing, would it still be collapsing? Yes. Yes, and that's one of the reasons it's collapsing. Socialism doesn't work long term. It always collapses in on itself. It would still be collapsing. Correct. The leftists in America will never willingly allow states to leave the union. Correct. Unfortunately, as that would curb their power and the number of people under their control. Yes, as I've said many times, secession is the least likely option for American collapse. It'd be the least bad option, but it's also least likely option. Now, however, you're oversimplifying it. It's not just that the leftists won't let you leave. It's that every state in the United States is a left-wing state. Yes, including including Texas, including Florida. These are left-wing states. Go look at the results of the last election. You don't believe me, okay? Trump barely lost to these, or barely won these states. Biden was like this and this with Trump. Is that a right-wing state? Is that a libertarian? No, okay? So they wouldn't leave because they're too busy sucking off the teat of the federal government. They're not going to leave. No state in the United States has the balls to leave. They won't. If and when they leave, it will already be too late. The collapse will be so bad, then they'll start breaking apart. But it'll be way too late by then. No state has the balls to do that before. By the way, that applies to Scotland with the UK, Catalonia in Spain, Quebec in Canada. No one has the balls to secede. No one has those balls. A lot of balls, and people don't have balls anymore. Okay, men have the average testosterone level is what, 250 for the typical Western man? No one has any balls anymore. They're all scared about, well, but how do we pay our bills? The federal government giving us a bunch of free government money. How do I control seeing sex with new women as ego validation? When I get the number and set the date, I feel like shit. But when I have a dry week, my ego is like, why aren't you lining up hoes? What? When I get the number and set up the date, I feel like shit. I don't quite understand. So I'm weird. I don't have sex with women. I never have because of ego. That's probably not true. I'm sure there's some ego in there. So yes, if I have sex with a 10, not these days, but back when it was a new thing for me, I go, yeah. I mean, after I'd be like, yeah, I'm fucking badass. I'd think that way for maybe 15 minutes, and then I'd be back to my normal life. I have sex because I need to have sex. I'm a man. I'm biologically wired to have sex. I feel better when I have sex. I can focus better on my work when I have regular sex. That's why I have sex 3 times a week, to focus better on my work. I don't want to be distracted. That's why I don't need porn and stuff like that. I'm not jerking off all the time because I'm having sex. So that's why I have sex. So if you're focused on the validation aspect of it, again, you need to look inside and ask yourself why. Why am I looking for sex as a form of validation instead of a form of mental or physical or emotional release? Or if you love her, an expression of your love, which is not usually why I have sex, but I love my wife. So why? Why is that? To me, sex is a release. It is a necessary biological function. In most cases, not all cases. And then you might say, well, if it's just a biological function, then why don't you have sex with ugly girls? Because I won't be able to get aroused with an ugly girl. I get aroused with hot girls. So do you, right? Right. I'm blurry again. I don't know why. If you were to hit up a girl a year after a listen fitty, is it better to wait after November, December because these are problematic months for dating anyway, or is it not relevant? It's very relevant. Definitely do not do it in December. Early November is okay. Do not do any. I've said this in my content a million times. Don't do any dating for new or returning women in the month of December. It is the worst month of all 12 months to do any of that stuff. It is a nightmare. Don't even try it. And boy, do I know what I'm talking about with this. Track it if you don't believe me. It's a nightmare. However, here's the good news. The best month of the year to bring back old women or to meet new women, January. January, February, March, April, May. I call that go time. Best time of the year. Oh, it's great. So just wait till January 2nd. Everyone's off their hangover from New Year's, and then go for it. Focus. There we go. Need a drink of water. Hang on. Let's see. When is day one of the next 90-day Business Builder cycle? We begin the program on November 12th. Your deadline to schedule your phone call is November 7th. We begin November 12th. It goes for 12 weeks. However, we add 2 weeks because of New Year's and Christmas. So it goes for 14 weeks. So somewhere in late January, I believe. But November 12th is our first meeting. Is when the process begins. And every time we do 90-day Business Builder, we improve it. So this iteration, you guys, if you guys sign up for this iteration, it's better than last iteration because we learned a lot from the first iteration. We learned about what didn't work, what worked really well, ways we can improve it. The guys gave us some feedback. We figured out some stuff. So every time we do this, we improve it. So this is better. This is better. It was awesome the first time. It's better now. I don't want to tell you why, because we've changed a few things around this. It's the shit. I'm so proud of this. What separates American women from Western European women in your eyes? There are definite differences. All the women I've been with lately have not been American women. So a lot of Western European women, not a lot, but a hunk. Western European women, more carefree, a little less angry, a little less pissed off, still pissed off, a little less angry, a little more open to different viewpoints, different aspects of the world, more open, just more open-minded would be kind of a general statement about Western European versus American women. What else? More knowledgeable about the world. That's certainly true of all Europeans as compared to Americans. Americans are very insular. Americans don't know anything about the world outside of America, whereas Europeans tend to know a lot more because of the nature of Europe. It's lots of little countries. So that's definitely a big difference between Western European women and American women. There's three right there. Caleb, I've been practicing day game at a local uni. You must be in the UK. I'm not being too over the top, but I'm a little older, 27, look 22, and worried that people will recognize me. Should I go elsewhere or focus on OI? There's nothing wrong with your age or people recognizing you. That is not OI. Be OI about that. Doing dating day game stuff on college campuses is starting to get more dangerous. We're starting getting out of the 2% rule where you could get in trouble. More left wing every year in every Western country. So you have to be aware of that. That's what you need to be aware of. It might be a 2% rule. It might be a little outside the 2%, but that's the deal. But no, don't worry about your age or people recognize you. That's not. No. Is Australia going to collapse? That is hard to say. I've talked about Australia several times. My best guess in terms of prediction for Australia is they will stagnate. Australia and New Zealand will stagnate. They will not collapse, but they will not do well. They're just, my comparison is they will float like a turd in the pool. They'll just sit there like this. Kind of like Japan. Last few decades, Japan just sits there. It doesn't collapse, but it doesn't do well. It just sits there like a turd. Okay? That's probably what Australia and New Zealand do. For a number of reasons, primarily because of the Asian money that's over there. Okay. Now, Australia will have some trouble as China continues to have more trouble. China's in for some big trouble. But no, I don't think Australia will collapse. It could. Australia is in some ways is one of the most left-wing countries culturally in the world. And I talked about this when I first started going to Australia many years ago, how you turn on the TV channels in Australia and you just randomly select channels. I've had this experience several times in Australia. You could go to a sports channel, then you can go to a girl channel, then you go to a guy channel, then you go to an action movie channel, then you go to a news channel, then you go to a cookie channel. And no matter what channel you're on, it's all this overwhelming left-wing social justice warrior woke stuff. It doesn't matter if it's sports. It doesn't matter if it's news. It doesn't matter if it's a cooking show. It doesn't matter if it just hits you like a wall. Like, oh my God. And the first time I went to Australia, I was surprised. Now I'm used to it. But so it could. I just think it'll probably stagnate. What do you think about dating or sleep with your hot neighbor? Never, ever, ever have sex with a woman who lives next door to you or in your same building when you're doing the Alpha Male 2.0 lifestyle, because what happens when she just starts knocking on your door and coming over whenever the fuck she feels like it? What happens if she starts doing that when another woman is over there? You don't want that. All women you have sex with should be at least 10 minutes away by car. 10 minutes away. Not 40 minutes, 10. Just to be able to get into a car and drive to your house or an Uber or bus, what have you, 10 minutes. Okay? Very, very dangerous. You're asking for drama and problems. What do you think about huge multinationals? I hate them. Google, Amazon, I hate them. Should they be broken up similar to smaller countries being better? Possibly. That's one of the few things. This is one of the few reasons why I'm a minarchist libertarian rather than an anarchist. One of the few functions of government, I think, is to break up companies if they get too big. Yes. Now, that's extremely complicated. You have to go on a case-by-case basis. I would never say break up all the companies. I'm not Elizabeth Warren. Okay, so you have to take it on a case-by-case. But I saw what happened when the government broke up AT&T in the 80s. Cellular communications, telephone communications improved dramatically when they did that across the board. I mean, long distance prices came down, services improved. I mean, that's competition, what you want. So yes, possibly. The answer is possibly yes. And I hate saying that as a libertarian, but again, I'm a minarchist libertarian, not an anarchist. If you want to have government, fine, have your government, keep it small, local, and decentralized. Keep it small as you can for as long as you can. Clarification, Warren Buffett wants 90% of his wealth to be invested in the S&P after he dies. Got it. How would you respond considering he's one of the richest men alive recommending this? So he's smarter than me and he's wealthier than me. So it doesn't matter what my opinion is, right? He is one of those people that doesn't view the collapse of the United States as a factor. Now, a lot of other billionaires do. It's not like all billionaires think the United States is going to do fine forever. Ray Dalio is a lot smarter about this. For example, he's a billionaire. He's worth $23 billion. So, but Warren Buffett, I've written articles about Warren Buffett. He says a lot of stupid shit. He's really good at investing, but he's terrible at everything else. He's a big left winger. He's for universal basic income. He's for a lot of weird shit that would not work. So just because you're really good at one skill set does not mean you're good at other skill sets. He's the greatest investor of all time. But that doesn't mean you understand, where the world is going in terms of Western collapse. It doesn't mean you understand politics. It doesn't mean you understand macroeconomics. It doesn't. You have a good handle on these things, but you don't understand them. So, tips for overcoming apathy and laziness. You are too comfortable. You are not in pain. Get yourself in pain. Stand yourself in the mirror. Stand yourself in front of the mirror and say, how am I going to look, feel, act as a man if I don't do anything and 5 years from now I'm still here? Same money, same living, same sex life, same everything. 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, and feel that pain. You need to start feeling pain. Most of you just aren't feeling enough pain. Most people have a very high pain threshold. I've mentioned this before, I think. Tony Robbins, way back in 1 billion years ago, said, the reason I'm successful is not because I'm better or smarter or harder working. It's because I have a very low threshold for pain. I don't like being in pain. And I heard that. I went, shit, that's me. I was poor. I was poor for a few years when I was a young man. I hated it. I hated being poor. I know thousands. I don't know thousands. I have met tons of people who are poor and they just put up with it. It's like, yeah, it sucks. They hate it. They complain about it, but they put up with it. I hated it. So I went to work to not be poor. I've been in a scenario where I couldn't get laid, like an incel, for about 7 months during my divorce. And I hated it. I thought I was going to die. I'm like, I need to go get laid and they better be hot. And I put in the work to do that. I have a low pain. Most of you guys have a very high pain threshold. You're poor, your life sucks. And you're like, I've done videos about this. You're like, it sucks, but it's not that bad. That's you. You're not in pain. Get in pain. Do whatever you can to get in pain. Daily, get in touch with your pain. Feel the pain. Feel the burn. Self-conscious at age 42, cold approach to VIWs. Internally, I know I have an advantage being older, but for some reasons, I find them very intimidating. How do I overcome this mindset? I don't like recommending this, but one thing you could do is sugar daddy game once or twice. And there's money involved. Get a super smoking hot 20-year-old. Okay. And then get used to doing that once or twice. Just 2 or 3 times. That's it. Then now it's not weird into your nervous system anymore. Now it's like, oh yeah, this is normal now. I had sex with a super hot 20-year-old. This is normal now. Very similar to guys who are virgins. The reason they stay virgins is they have no context for having sex. So they think sex is this big deal. You think incorrectly that having sex with a VYW is this huge deal. I do it all the time. I'm a lot older than you. I've been doing it since I was in my 30s. It's not a big deal at all. And because of the collapsing Western world, because of the worsting culture, because of the worsting economics, it is now much more normal for women that age to be attracted to men who are over 40. Trust me. I mean, back in the 80s and 90s, it was weird for a 22-year-old to want to go fuck a 45-year-old. Today, it's not weird at all. It's almost normal now. Right? So there you go. You're on trend, baby. Is being empathetic, outcome independent a contradiction, or is there a balance? No, it's not a contradiction. First of all, to be fair, I'm not an empathetic person, as you can probably tell. Okay. Empathy is not one of my strong suits. I am outcome independent about my marriage to my wife, but I love her and I want her to be happy. And I also value the relationship, so I'm going to be empathetic for her. Make sense? Now, as I said, if our marriage ends, it ends, okay, and I'll be sad for a few days and I'll move on. And I won't lose any money. So I'm outcome independent about this. But until that happens, unless that happens, I care about her and I care about a relationship. So I'm empathetic about her. Now, the way I handle this is I'm empathetic about a very few narrow people. I'm only empathetic about a few people in my life, honestly. Okay. I'm empathetic about my wife, my 2 children, kind of my parents, and kind of the people on my team. Okay. In my companies, the close people on my team. I'm empathetic to a degree about that. That's what, 6, 7, 8 people. That's it. Everyone else in the world can go burn in hell. I don't care. So that's how I handle it. My empathy is dished out to a very small number of people instead of, oh, I need to be empathetic with everybody, which is what a lot of people are in a good and bad way. So if Hinge forced you all 6 photos, your recommendation is to use 6 photos and just have high 6 quality photos in different environment. Correct. Which sucks, but that's it. What about uploading blank white photo for the last 3 photos or using pictures where you're so far away they can't get much? Okay, no, I would not do either one of those. Blank white photos is a red flag, and women are looking for red flags online. So I would not do that. So far away, you'd have to test that. I don't know. I wouldn't do that, but you could test that. You could test it. Thoughts on the black pill? I talked about it earlier. Black pill is factually and objectively incorrect. It's not just about how you look. It's also about outcome. I already talked about it earlier. I'll repeat. Once you get residency in Paraguay, is it a done deal, i.e. no longer ongoing payment or other requirement? Correct. Once you get your cedula, you're done. You got to renew it, but the fees are nominal. As far as a man having good physique, what percentage of attraction would you attribute to the physical, low body fat muscle? I know other traits matter a lot even more, but specifically, as far as a man having good physique, what percentage of attraction would you attribute to physical? Let me see if I understand your question. What percentage of attraction would you attribute to the physical, low body fat muscle? I can't answer that question because and I've discussed this in my content, every woman has a different opinion about that. Some women are going to demand you have low body fat and nicer muscles. Some women don't give as much of a shit about that. Okay. So when I was chubbier, okay, going on lots of first dates, hundreds of first dates, there were women who took one look at me and said, nope. And it didn't matter how confident or outcome independent I was. They're not going to do it with a man with my body fat. Okay. But a lot of women said, all right, sure. Good enough. And they had sex with me. So every woman's different. Okay. And that's the facts. That's true. Right. It certainly is a percentage, of course. And even with the women who don't mind as much if you're chubbier or shorter or uglier or whatever, it will still help you if you are less chubby or less short or less ugly or less. It still helps, even those women, right? Because even the women who will date a chubby guy would still prefer a guy who looks like Chris Hemsworth. Okay? Yeah, sure. I cannot understand what's going on in the heads of these sugar daddy guys offering $10,000 for a date. That they spent that money on instant, no BS, ONSs for a bunch of hot hookers, and I understand. Because they're old, and they're ugly, and they have beta males, and they have no game, and they don't want to fuck hookers. They think it's gross. Believe it or not, there are some men who don't want to have sex with hookers. I'm one of them. I don't like it. It's not my thing. So, but they will do sugar babies because sugar babies are hookers. Sugar babies are very, very choosy about who they have sex with. Hookers are not. You hire a hooker, she has to come and fuck you, even if she doesn't know what she looks like, because that's her job. Sugar babies need to be they need to check all your photos. They make sure you're not weird or creepy. They're going to text you, right? They might need to see video of you. In some extreme cases, if they're famous or they're really hot, they may have to, go to have dinner with you or on a date to make sure, and then they'll fuck you. They can be very, very choosy. That's why it's slightly different. Which Flying Miles credit card do you use? Credit card? I'll show you something I'm very proud of. I'm gonna flex now. You ready for me to flex? Caleb's gonna flex. I don't normally do this. So this is my wallet. I forget what it's called. It's one of these carbon da-da-da wallets. I forget the name. Okay, hang on. I'm going to find something that I'm kind of proud of. I got to cover the number. So American Express Platinum card, baby. Highest American Express card you could get that is not invitation only. I've got 200,000 freaking flyer miles just on this card. Now, I have a few other cards in here. I also have the Chase Sapphire, which is a really good one. I've got that. At the moment, I've got about 60,000 miles on that. I got a few of them. Yeah, baby. It's awesome. Money solves all problems. Yeah, but Rumble is predicted to surpass YouTube the next 5 years. I don't predict that. A lot of creators are getting banned for no reason is going to Rumble. That's true. Absolutely. Don't you want a platform where you don't have to censor yourself? I didn't say I don't want Rumble. I never said that. Rumble's fucking great. Yes, YouTube should be like Rumble. Yes, I hate YouTube. YouTube is the worst. YouTube of the year 2022 is the worst internet platform I have ever used in my entire life, and I've been using internet platforms since 1996. So yes, I didn't say that. I said free speech is going to get worse every year. And I do not predict that Rumble will replace YouTube in 5 years. I don't predict that. Sadly, I think YouTube is going to start doing better. So basically, here's the bottom line. TikTok's going to destroy Instagram. It already is. And YouTube is going after TikTok hard. Because despite the fact that YouTube is evil, YouTube is smart. Google's smart. Rumble could surpass YouTube. That's why I'm there. So follow me on Rumble. On all my videos, there's a link to all the alt tech sites I'm on, including BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey. Go follow me over there. Most of you won't, because most of you aren't on Rumble, and that's my point. So, yeah, it could, but that's not what I said. I said there will be less free speech in the United States every year until the United States collapses. Free speech is not coming back. It's going to get worse and worse every year. And the fact that that guy, I can't say his name, Tate, isn't here anymore is proof positive of this. If this was 12 years ago, 15 years ago, he would have been fine. No one would have banned him. But they'll ban him now. I could get banned in the next few years. I could. That's why I'm on Rumble, just in case. Have I visited Ecuador yet? Thoughts? I have not. Not visited Ecuador. It's not big high on my list. It's not something I'm really dying to go to. If Rumble becomes as popular as YouTube, it'll get just as censored eventually. Correct. That's accurate. YouTube used to be wonderful back in like 2008, 2009. YouTube was a dream come true. Now look at it. So same thing with Rumble, BitChute. Correct. That's accurate. By the way, SMIC is amazing. Highly recommended. Cool. Thank you. Join SMIC.com, my least expensive coaching program. $177 a month. Less than that if you make payments in advance for like a year at a time. Yeah, cool. Like the video, homies, Caleb is more underrated than he should be. Thank you. If I gave more of a fuck, right? I'm 30. I slept with 3-digit women by now, and I'm in better shape than 90% of guys. Cool. I have an OLTR at the moment and a friend with benefits with ONS on the side. Okay, so I'm good there, but I don't know how to force myself to start a business. 90daybizbuilder.com. We will make you start your business. That's part of this program. We make you do it because so many of you are just putting this off. We fucking make you do it, and you will do it. Well, most likely. You could still say, I'm not going to do it, waste your money. I guess you could do that. There you go. We have a bot. So how do I ban a bot? Let's see. Block user. There we go. Hang on a second. I got to block somebody. There's a bot posting red faces. There we go. 1 second. My OLTR is a 21-year-old girl. I do not recommend OLTRs that young. Your OLTR should be at least 25 years old. You are making a mistake, in my opinion. But she is Asian. I live in Vietnam. Will this blow up my face? Yes. You cannot date a VYW, that is a woman under the age of 23, in a long-term serious relationship that you expect to last a long, long, long time. Yes. Make her your MLTR. They make wonderful MLTRs and FBs, not OLTR. 25 should be the bottom line. Any idea how long TRT has been around? This 1970s. I assume there are long-term studies about the side effect. Yes. There have been men on TRT since the 1970s. Caleb, how are you so positive and upbeat? Other channels like Rich Cooper and FF are somber, mad, dry, and put up a macho front. You seem chill and funny as hell. I appreciate it. Because I'm Outcome Independent. Those guys, and Rich is my friend. I don't know Fresh and Fit. I know of them. I don't know them. Rich is a friend of mine. I like him. But those guys are mad about the state of women in the state of Western world. They're mad about this. They're pissed off. They're outcome dependent about these things. I don't care about women. And I don't care about the West. I don't care about America. I don't care about Canada. I don't care about feminists. Don't care. Don't give a fuck, because my life is great and will be great even as the West collapses, because I've designed my lifestyle around a structure that will do well even if the Western world collapses, which is what I recommend you guys do. That's what Sovereign CEO is all about, and Alpha Male 2.0. That's why. It's real simple. You can stare at the world and be mad, or you can fix your life so the world doesn't matter. I choose to fix my life, so now it doesn't matter what happens. I don't need to vote because it doesn't matter who's the president. I'll do well either way. Caleb, how do you handle rejection while first learning success with women? It feels like rejection gets me down. I can't play the numbers game because I'm so concerned about what people think. Well, you're very outcome dependent. You have to play the numbers game. That's why I didn't let it get me down. I was constantly going back to the websites and scheduling new dates and sending out hundreds of openers. We did openers back then instead of swipes, but later I did swipes. I was constantly putting in the numbers, constantly. Many different websites, many different services, many different avenues. I did day game for a while. I didn't like it, but I did it. I did lots of things. I did a referral game, social circle game. I did everything. I just put in lots and lots of numbers. So when you're putting lots of numbers and one girl says no, or four girls say no, you're that closer to a yes. Fifth girl's going to say yes. It's that simple. The numbers game solves that problem or alleviates that problem. That's how this works. I'm so sure what people will think about me being rejected. No one knows you're getting rejected. The only person who knows you're getting rejected is that girl. No one knows, right? So why are you worried about this? If a girl rejects you, how many people know about it? You and the girl. And the girl, trust me, will forget about you in 2 days. She won't even remember your ass. Trust me, she won't. So now she doesn't count. Only you know. So who gives a fuck? You see the thought process I use for the Talk of Independent stuff? You just follow it along. Not a big deal. What about moving from the U.S. to the Middle East? If you live in a shithole country, if you live in Libya, go ahead. It is less bad. Depends where. If you live in Qatar, or Qatar, I should say it correctly, Qatar. If you live in Qatar, UAE, or Bahrain, fuck, stay there. You're where you want to be. But if you're in a shithole country, then sure. Also, since I have an OLTR, I find it easy to get ONS on the side, but hard to find FN with benefits. To be honest, it seems like a lot of girls here looking for a relationship, and I get the I didn't feel any chemistry or whatever. When you get the feel I didn't feel any chemistry, the women, you can confirm this or not, most women you're dealing with are over the age of 30, aren't they? 22-year-old girls don't use the word chemistry. That is used by women over 30 who are provider hunters. So I would drop the age of the women you're going after. But I could be wrong. I don't know what country you live in. I encourage women to behave in ways I find sexy and attractive. Why do women beta-eyes men if they deem the result unattractive? Well, the red pill guys call this the feminine imperative. Right? So I call it, or the pickup artists, I call it what pickup artists, it's betaization. So and I talk about this in my books, read my books. They are attracted to you initially, but they don't want to stay attracted to you and have nothing but attraction. They want to beta-eyes you and turn you into a good little beta that follows her instructions. And the reason she does this is because she has biological wiring from when we were in cavemen times, where the alpha male of the tribe might bang her, but he wouldn't stick around and watch the cave with his spear guarding it from other tribes and saber-toothed tigers, right? So she had to take the alpha male who impregnated her and turn him via sex and other promises, turn him into a beta, or that version of beta, who would protect her and stick around. The alpha male doesn't stick around. He goes and bangs with the chicks. So she still has that wiring. That's why she does this. It has nothing to do with attraction. It has to do with betaization. And women, to a large degree, can't help it. They can't help it. It's how they're wired. You can't help not wanting to fuck women, right? It's how you're wired. Same thing. Women can't help it. They come by it honestly. Now, some women are worse at it than others. That's why there's dominance, independence, submissives. Okay. But that's how it works. That's why it's not about attraction. Starting a new business aimed at helping men with Asperger's in terms of health and fitness, dating, socializing, lifestyle, etc. Is this a good niche? Your Asperger's is a good niche, but your offering is not niched. Fitness, dating, socializing, lifestyle, that's not a niche. Pick one. How Asperger's can get laid. There you go. That's a niche. How Asperger's can improve their body fat percentage. That's a niche. But all that other stuff, no. Doug Casey described Warren Buffett as an autistic idiot savant. Correct. That is an accurate assessment. I do think Warren is highly autistic based on what I've observed about him. Yes, correct. In fact, a lot of the billionaires are autistic. I think that's accurate. I'm poor and I'm pretty much okay with it. Then you're fucked. Enjoy being poor the rest of your life. The logical goat. Well, thank you. What about OPEC? Should the supply of fuels be floating, or is it okay for them to band together and control it? Every country should do what's in the best interest of that country. So if it's in their best interest, they should do it. Okay. And America should, this is where the left wingers are correct. America should embrace non-fossil fuel options. They should pour funding, not government funding. Okay. Private sector funding into batteries, solar, wind, geothermal. Yes, I know there's a lot of issues with these things right now, but relying on oil is just fucking dumb. It's just so fucking dumb. America is lucky, and I mean lucky. This actually extended the time for their collapse. So the pandemic took 10 years off the lifespan of America, but something that added a few years was fracking. I mean, they just lucked out about that. If they didn't have fracking, America would be a lot worse off right now. So you Americans who are still living in America better count your blessings, because that's not going to last much longer. But anyway, OPEC should do whatever's in the best interest of OPEC. Okay. Now, the one thing I'm against, as I talk about with Putin and Trump, Obama, Bush, people who attack countries, you shouldn't attack other countries preemptively. Other than that, you should do whatever you want. This is in the best interest of your country. Hang on, my wifey Pooh is texting me from upstairs. Hang on one second. I'm using empathy on my wife right now. Hang on. If you're curious what I'm saying, she said good night. I'm saying good night. I love you. I'm sorry I couldn't go to bed with you, because she likes that. See, I'm all empathetic and shit. All right, moving on. Let's see, where are we here? Hey, bro. What's up, bro? What's your thoughts on the beef between Eddie Hearn and Mike Hoxard? I have no idea who these people are. Watching for the UK would appreciate a shout. Touch Map and AZ. I honestly have no idea who that is. Those people are. I'm not very cool. I don't know if you noticed. I'm not into cool shit. I'm a nerd. And I don't have a lot of time consuming pop culture and politics. I'm too busy building my empire right now. So, have you ever gotten so caught up in your thoughts on making excuses about your looks that everything wasn't right on any particular day? Hang on a sec. My wife is typing. It's okay. I love you too. With a little heart. My wife is a little sweetheart. Sorry. Have you ever gotten so caught up in your thoughts on making excuses about your looks that everything wasn't just right on any particular day that you talked yourself out of approaching? Well, I don't do day game. I don't do night game, so I don't approach. So that's where I separate myself very different from the traditional pickup artist type guys. Matter of fact, back when I was the pickup artist world, a lot of the real pickup artists didn't like me because I focused on online dating, which didn't count. So if you bang a bunch of smoking hot girls without paying them any money through online dating, that didn't count. That doesn't count. It only counts if it's day game or night game, because that's what a real man does. So I don't approach that way. I did day game briefly for a few months about 15 years ago. And no, I didn't. But I'm not the guy to ask about approaching. I don't do cold approach. It's too much work. My buddy, Tom Torero, God rest his soul, was the dig in guy. Some guy also threatened to punch me if I move out of the UK. What? Threatened to punch you if you move out of the UK? What would you recommend I do in this situation? How's he going to punch you if you're not there? What the fuck? So you move out. Okay, he's going to fly to, Paraguay to punch you? Oh, my God. Stop giving a shit about this stuff, guys. Jesus Christ. Okay, from North America. If I should be careful about doing DG day game on uni campuses. Yeah. Where should I meet hot younger women? I think 18, 19 range is the hottest chicks, to be honest. Malls. And then, once you're dating a few of them, social circle game and referral game, which is awesome with women that age range. It's awesome. And then online dating. I know that's not day game, but it's another option. I didn't say don't do universities. I'm just saying be careful. Be very careful, very low key, low profile in this era. How do you handle younger women? I throw them around. I'm not joking. I pick them up and I throw them around, little bitch. In a nice way, in a mutually adult consensual way. Lost a few girls because I said I was too old, but I'm only 27. I'm 50. I don't have that problem. So you're doing something wrong. There are 3 types of VYW. This is 80% of younger women technique. Okay. Hang on. There are type 1s. Type 1s are younger women who will never have sex with an older man, more than about 4 or 5 or 6 years older than her. They think it's disgusting because it's like fucking my dad. Okay. So you will never fuck those girls. Those could be, I don't know. It's hard even to get them on a first date because they'd be like, ooh, gross. Then you have type 2s are the exact opposite. They prefer men who are older. They prefer men, and the older the better. My daughter's in this category. Okay. The older the better. Those are your favorites. Then there are type 3s. They don't care how old you are. But if you fuck up, if you screw up the approach, if you screw up the first date, second date, what have you, they may use that as an excuse. But it's not because you're older, it's because you fucked something else up. They don't care how old you are. And it also is outside their comfort zone because they don't normally hook up with much older men. Although that is rapidly changing. Rapidly. Again, younger women than older men is now becoming a cultural norm in the Western world, which is new for the Western world. Historically, it was only Eastern cultures that did that. Now it's the Western cultures too. How safe is Asuncion, Paraguay compared to large U.S. city? Is it safer? It's safer. Now, historically, since the pandemic, crime has gone up in Asuncion. So that's a temporary spike. It will drop back down to normalcy. So if you ignore that temporary spike in crime, if you ignore that, because right now they're having some issues post-pandemic because they don't have a welfare state, yet they told everyone to stay home and not work. So now people are, can't pay their bills and they have no option other than to steal and shit. It's kind of a mess down there. Not mess. I mean, I was just down there. It's fine. But other than that temporary spike, it is safer than normally speaking, it's safer than most U.S. cities. You're a very confident guy. What are your 3 best practices for more confidence? Reflect back on your past successes. If you're starting from 0, what have you done in the past where you were successful? I haven't done anything. Yes, you have. Stop. What have you done that was even in small things, not just with finances, in your career, in your school, in your hobbies, with women, with fitness, with anything? You reflect back on those and you go, oh yeah, I am pretty good. I'm good at that. I'm good. I'm smart. You might be smart. You might be buff. You might be hardworking. You might be happy. You might be silly. You might have a good sense of humor. Reflect on your strengths and your past successes. Start there and build from there. And again, fake it till you make it. You can pretend to be confident. Watch any James Bond movie and copy how he moves. Okay? Your opinion on having married FBs and ONSs in the United States, in the USA. Here's my opinion. I do not recommend you have sex with married women. Women with boyfriends, fine. That doesn't mean anything for a lot of women. The word boyfriend doesn't have a lot of meaning anymore. Some women it does, a lot of women it doesn't. So boyfriends is fine. If they're married, they're living with the guy, they have a marriage contract, maybe they have kids or not, the odds of problems, potential drama, because you want to live a low drama lifestyle is too high. Now, have I ever had sex with married women in my past? Yes. Not a lot, but a few. But it's been a long, long, long time. I don't recommend it. If you're absolutely hell-bent on doing this, you need to follow 3 rules. Here are the 3 married woman rules. Number 1, she has to pursue you. You can't be 100% pursuing her. She has to have some skin in the game in terms of it's clear she wants to fuck you. Okay, that's number 1. Okay. Number 2, you cannot know her husband in any way whatsoever. If you know her husband in any way whatsoever, even as acquaintance, no, you're a piece of shit. Bro code is real to a degree. You're just a piece of shit if you do this. I mean, it's so shitty. Guys who know each other and they fuck each other's wives. It's just such a shitty thing to do. And it causes drama. That's the main reason. So don't do this. You don't want drama. Number 3, and this is what guys forget about. You cannot run into the husband. You cannot be in any logistical scenario where you may run into the husband. Like they're in your neighborhood and you're out walking the dog or playing outside. You see him walking the dog and you, oops. Or you fuck some chick at your office and she's married and then you meet the husband at the office Christmas. No, office Christmas party. You can't be in those scenarios. If you hit all 3 of those, then go ahead. But I still do not recommend it. I do not recommend having sex with married women. I just don't. Now, when I say married women, it doesn't count if they're separated or going through a divorce. That doesn't count. If they're actively going through a divorce with attorneys and they're separated, then go ahead. That's different. But if she's married, I wouldn't do it. Just wouldn't do it. Unless she's in an OLTR. OLTR is okay. If she has an open marriage or she has some beta male husband, there's a lot of marriages like this. I've been with a few of these women, and they don't count toward the married women, where the woman is the alpha male 2.0. She's out banging dudes while the beta male husband stays home and watches her 2 little kids. I've been with a woman like this. It was many years ago. She was like a fitness chick, like a runner. She was hot, good looking. She was in her 30s, had a beta male husband who didn't fuck other women. She would always have a boyfriend or someone she was seeing, usually one guy at a time. And he would stay home and watch the kids while she was out banging guys like me. So that's okay. But in typical marriage, I wouldn't recommend it. Do you still plan on to be creating content discussing Alpha 2.0 lifestyle beyond 2024? Yes, but less, much less. But the answer is at the moment, yes, but I can still change my mind between now and then. But I make enough money now on this income stream where it makes sense for me to maintain it. So yes. We're going to sell NFTs again. We're going to do the Black Dragon Pink Firefly comic book. We're going to do booklets for the Unchained Man. We're going to do, I have a lot of things in the works for that. So the answer is yes. Fresh and fit are kids under 35 and are still controlled by hormones. So they're naturally angrier than Rich Cooper. Rich Cooper is an older guy and is not driven as by testosterone. Yeah, that's accurate. Although Rich is not a low T guy. Rich is on TRT. He's not a low T guy. So I have the testosterone of an 18-year-old man. I'm 50. I don't know what Rich's testosterone level is, but he's not low T. So maybe you're not. Actually, it's probably not true. So the red pill guys say to get a woman between 18 and 25 for a relationship, but you say not to. That's not what I said exactly. What if I don't want a relationship with an old woman? What age should the girl be for best for old here? That is not what I said. What I said was, do not settle down in a marriage or marriage-like relationship that you expect to last forever or many decades with an 18-year-old girl. That's just fucking stupid. Well, she's only fucked, she's a virgin. It doesn't matter if she's a virgin. If she's a Western chick, you'll be divorced in 3 years. Doesn't matter how many guys she's fucked. It's stupid. Date her? Yes. MLTR? Sure. FB? Great. Fine. In terms of the minimum age for OLTR, I said this before. I've been very consistent about this. 25. You don't have to date an old woman. Is 25 an old woman? 25 is fine. Older is better than 25. So here's the deal. I've said this many times. This is true. I could have married any woman of any age. I had 18, 19-year-old girls offer to marry me, many of them. And I said, no. I married a woman. I went outside of my way to marry a woman, to find a woman before I met Pink Firefly who was in her mid-30s. Because women go through a lot of changes from age 20 to 25, then from 25 to 35. ASD spikes, they go through all kinds of changes. You don't want to settle down with a woman who hasn't gone through these changes yet, because the odds of divorce and problems, drama go way up. So in a perfect world, if you don't want any drama, maximize the odds for low drama and non-divorce. You want a woman who's like over 33. Now, most guys go, that's gross. I don't want to marry. Okay, fine. Marry a 25-year-old and you might get divorced. Okay? Because she's not the woman you marry. She's not going to be the woman that she ends up being. Whereas Pink Firefly, we started dating when she was 33. We started having sex when she was 33. We started getting serious when she was 38? Okay. Perfectly safe with that because I know she's not going to wake up one day and want something completely different. Not going to wake up one day and her ASD is going to spike. It already spiked. It's already as high as fuck. She's 42. Her ASD is sky high. Okay. I'll have to worry about these changes. I'm not saying she'll never change, but I don't have to deal with any radical changes. The odds are much lower. So my odds are much better than you if you marry a 25-year-old or 27-year-old. Okay. And again, I'm going to repeat this. Alpha male 2.0, bro. I'm married to a woman who's in her 40s, but I have sex with women of a lot younger than her all the fucking time, whenever I want. It's not like you guys have this monogamy thing going on. That's the other problem, Red Pill, is they want monogamy. It's like, well, make sure she's hot because that's the only girl you could fuck. Well, that's fucking stupid. Why would you want to have sex with one woman the rest of your life? That's goddamn dumb. Why are men so stupid about that? Jesus. Hypothetically, would you give up your U.S. passport for a Canadian one? No citizen-based taxation. I would not give up my U.S. passport for one other passport. So I would need a Canadian passport plus a second passport, and that would announce. Yeah, if I had another passport that was good, sure. I wouldn't be excited about it, but I would do it, sure. I don't want a Canadian passport. My God, kill me. What are your thoughts on Dallas, Texas? I agree with your observation of Biden nearly winning that state, but economically speaking, it's booming. By the way, Mexico is my backup flag I'm working on. Cool. It's one of the least bad cities in the United States, but that means it's the least smelliest turd in the pile of dog turds. So would I move to Texas? No. Hell no. It's in the United States. Opinion on Romania living there. Romania is pretty good. It's all right. Please do not move to Romania just because Andrew... Can I say his name? I'll say his name. Just because Andrew Tate is there. Andrew Tate lives in Romania, so now all these guys want to move to Romania. There are better places for certain things than Romania. So if that's why you think Romania is great because Andrew Tate's there, oh yeah, Andrew Tate's there, so it must be perfect. Don't go there, please. Go there for your own reasons, not Andrew Tate's reasons. You're not Andrew Tate. Cool, bro. Love it. Speaking of Andrew Tate, my girlfriend left me on Friday because I said I'm going to leave the UK as soon as I can. I guess sacrifices need to be made. Do you know how many FBs I will probably never see again because I left the United States? I made some sacrifices too. Yeah. FBs I liked who were like hot as fuck and really fun that I will probably never see again. No, not all of them. A lot of FBs I'll still see. I still do see. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Do you want your girlfriend to run your life or do you want to run your life? Which one? What are you? Excellent. Love the attitude. She's replaceable. Exactly. How come independence relate to judgments from people, strangers, when doing abnormal things in public eye? You shouldn't give a rat fuck. I said before, I would walk around naked in a downtown city street if I was allowed to. If it was legal to do so, I would walk around naked. If the weather was permitting, I'm not going to get sunburned on my balls. That would be good. I don't care. I do stuff in the public all the time that people are very embarrassed about. I dance around when I go like grocery shopping. I embarrass the fuck out of Pink Firefly. Pink Firefly is a little used to this now, being silly. When my dad got married, his third marriage, I was up on the stage with all my brothers and sisters, and I was like doing the dance that I was bored. So they're all standing around acting very professional in their little tuxedos and suits and dresses, and all my brothers and sisters. And I was up to doing the dance that Tom Cruise did in Tropic Thunder, where he's like, punching the bitch like this. He's doing this. And people are like, what? And people turn to my wife, what is Caleb doing? And she goes, he's just being Caleb. I don't give a fuck. Outcome independence means you don't care about what strangers think of you. Okay? Stop it. Cole Robinson, he's the snake diet guy, for those of you who know who that is. Back before he did snake diet, he did a little PUA stuff. And he did with that experiment where he taped a plastic penis onto his forehead and did day game and would like meet chicks with this big plastic dick flopping around his forehead. Some of you guys need to do that. Get over this shit, man. Fuck. Who cares what strangers think about you? God damn it. Sometimes I'm coming back from work and I see attractive women I want to meet, but my work clothes are a bit dirty, so I don't look that great. Should I still approach? I would, yes. I would. Yeah, shows balls. Now, is it ideal? No. But so you're doing real day game, you should look perfect head to toe, just like a first date. But sure, I would. You bet, man, motherfucker. I like when you guys are talking to each other. That's awesome. How important is humor with women? I found it's 90% of game. It is not 90% of game, but it is important. One of the requirements of a first date is she should laugh every few minutes. Okay. However, you do not want to be a clown. Clown game gets you liked, not laid. So if you're a clown, if you're a comedian, that will get women to like you and laugh at your jokes, and you won't get any. You won't get pussy. So it is important, but it's not 90% of game. What are your YouTube goals by the end of 2020? I have none, because YouTube is a horrible platform. I can't predict what kind of engagement I will get on YouTube. All I can do is do lots of YouTube shorts, which are copies of my TikTok videos. And my goal is a activity-based goal, not a result-based goal, is to produce regular social media content on all relevant social media platforms. And I'm on a lot of them. Other than that, I have no goals, because I can't predict the stupid goddamn YouTube algorithm, which changes every month. Caleb, do you think it was easier to learn game when you learned in 2007 and the flaking was less? Easier to learn game? No, it was not easier to learn game. Was there less flaking? Probably less flaking. Yes. Women are probably more, they are. They're a little, not a lot, not by a wide margin. They are a little more flaky now. That's true. That's accurate. However, ASD is lower now. Okay. So there are a lot of aspects of game, especially Alpha Male 2.0 stuff, that are easier now. Back in 2007, I had to convince women to be non-monogamous with me. I had to really convince women. It's okay if I fuck other women. It's okay. They'd say, oh, no, I would never allow that. Guys will just cheat on you then. Oh, no, if you find the right man. Oh, I don't get any women saying this anymore at all. They're like, all right, cool, fine. I don't give a shit. It's great. Okay. Younger women, that was harder back in 2009 when I started doing younger woman game. I had to really work hard as a man in his late 30s to hook up with 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-olds. It was hard goddamn work. Hard work. Today, it's fucking easy. It's easy. Young women like older men now. 15, 20 years ago, that was weird. It was, weird. And even the women who did it felt a little weird about it. That's not a problem anymore. So some of it was easy. Some of it was more difficult, but some of it was easier, but a lot of it was more difficult. How long are we talking on here? I got to go in a few minutes. Okay. Been going for 2 hours and 37 minutes, and daddy's time is valuable. So I got to go. I got to go to bed, frankly. What time is it? It's 11:30. Yeah. It's time for me to go to night. What do you think about Dominican Republic as a flag? DR is great for many possibilities. That's great. Caleb, how do I start marketing consulting business for cosmetic surgeons with zero experience in marketing and or consulting? Well, that'd be a little difficult. I don't know why you're picking something you have zero experience in. So I probably wouldn't do that. I would probably pick something you have some experience in. Otherwise, you're going to have to read a lot of marketing books, a lot, and get good book smarts at marketing, which I wouldn't recommend. You could do that, though. That would be one option for you, but I would start something you have some experience in and a little more confidence in. Can't think of anyone who's in your space, location, dependent income, plus leaving the class and Wentz 5 flag. Who else is in your space? Andrew Henderson doesn't count. No one is in my exact space because I follow my advice. I'm niched. I won't start the business unless it's niched. I'm niched. How many guys talk about how to date multiple women and make that work long term? Yeah. I mean, right? So I'm niched. How did you become so well versed in global politics? Lots and lots of reading and research. How legit are the concerns about the increase in violent crime in Mexico? They're not legitimate if you stay in the correct places. The crime in Mexico is very location dependent. There are parts of Mexico that will never have a problem with crime, ever. And there are parts that are getting worse. So you don't go there and you don't live there. It's real simple. That's unlike a lot of countries. I could do a whole thing on that. But yeah, the crime rate in Mexico is very location specific. It's very different than crime rates in other countries like Albania or something like that. Reading the plot of Snow Crash, and it's amazing how accurate some of the predictions. I've talked about Snow Crash a lot, yes. From 1994 forward, cryptocurrency, DoorDash, metaverse. Back then there was no internet. Neil Stevens is a fucking genius. Yeah, Snow Crash, one of my favorite science fiction novels. Yeah, it's awesome. For a lot of reasons. I love, as a libertarian, I love how I think it will. There's some other predictions that will also come true. Haven't come true yet for that book. In that book, they talk about how there is a U.S. federal government, but it's this little tiny organization, and everyone makes fun of it because it has no power. It's coming. Now, it's going to be a long time before it's coming. It's going to get much, much bigger, more powerful before it gets small. But there you go. Where am I? There we go. How do you sexually escalate during a first date? You don't. I know how to flow into sex during a convo, but when I get there, I don't have a roadmap. You don't want to say let's fuck like a thirsty ass dude. If you're following the Black Dragon dating model, which is the model I teach as a subset of Alpha Male 2.0, your first date is 1 hour at a really fancy bar or really fancy coffee shop type place. Okay. 1 hour. No sexual escalation at all. No kissing. But you touch. You can keno and you can do sex talk, sexual frame. Then you get the fuck out of there. Then on the second date, you escalate to sex. And you don't do it at the bar or the club. You do it at your place. Way better system if you follow that system. Get to sexfast.com. Can you think of any good countries with 4 seasons, cold winters with snow? Not really. Seems they're mostly socialist and not great. Maybe Chile. Chile doesn't get snow unless you live in the mountains. So no, I can't think of any. Here's the deal on this 5 flag stuff. You can't be super picky. What did I say about one of my most important YouTube videos I've done on this channel, or no, the El Sovereign CEO channel? The only 2 types of men who are going to survive and thrive in the coming dark age that we have already entered, the collapse of the Western world, are 2 types. Men who are wealthy, that means you have a net worth of at least $10 million. And men who are hyper flexible. If you're like, I need 4 seasons, I need snow, I need this, I need this, I need this, you are not hyper flexible. You're going to get crushed. Or you better get your ass working and you better make $10 million or more. I've said this to guys. I've said this, guys, in person and on the internet. Guys are all, well, I don't want to move here unless that's this. I hope you're a multi-millionaire. I hope you're worth at least $10 million right now or really close to it. And if you want to be that picky, you better get your ass to work. You better work as hard as me. You better start working those 70, 80, 90-hour weeks to make your 10 million. Or take a deep breath and relax and stop being so picky. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. Those are the only 2 types of men who are going to make it through this shit, guys. Okay? If you're not going to make all that kind of money, it's fine. It's fine. Being a multimillionaire is not for everybody. That's fine. You better be really fucking flexible about the way you live. Really flexible. And most guys aren't. You have all these poor guys or middle class guys who are really touchy about, well, I wouldn't move out of the country unless this and this and this. Goodbye, you're fucked. You're fucked. I'm not saying you're in that category. I'm saying you might want to lighten up unless you have a lot of money. Unless you have a lot of money I don't know about. Do you think USA may start taking men's passports if they're outside their political economic rules? Yes, that is entirely possible. I don't know if it's likely, but that is entirely possible as the Western world continues to collapse, as America continues to collapse over the next few decades. I don't think it's going to happen next year. It won't be like a Biden thing. But yes, that is entirely possible. That is reason number 7 or 8 I want to renounce. I don't want to be locked in that passport. I just don't. I don't even want to have one passport. Andrew, my friend Andrew Henderson, is right about this. Having one passport long-term is not a good idea. Not in this era. I want at least 2. At least 2. 3 would be better. 3's hard. But I want at least 2. At least 2. And one of them cannot be an American passport. So that's my goal. 2 passports, neither of which are an American passport. So I need to get 2 more. I'll have a total of 3 I'll renounce, and I'll have 2 left. Then I'll be happy. I'm happy now. Did you get my point? I have no experience in anything that is location dependent, business friendly. False. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You just don't know what it is. Yes, you do. That's why I picked marketing for cosmetic surgeons, advised by you a few months ago. How do I do this? I just told you I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And if you want to do that, I already said, buy a bunch of marketing books and study up on marketing. Hardcore. I wouldn't recommend that though. I said that's a good niche in general. If you have no experience in it, I wouldn't do it. You have some skills that I know would apply in a location-independent fashion to some niche. You already have them. I don't know what they are because I don't know you, but I'm sure you have them. If you have a few $1,000, 90-day business builder, join it. Got a few more days for that. What happened to Scott Adams? His blogs were so valuable. He caught the Trump disease. Just like Vox Day, who used to have an amazing blog, just like Alex Jones, who used to not be insane, just like Stefan Molyneux, who used to have an amazing YouTube channel. He caught the Trump disease. And he went, I can make a lot of money on these Trump guys. Yeah, I'm going to say Trump's perfect, and Trump's a genius, and Trump's amazing, and Trump's this, and Trump's that. And then I'm going to marry some, super young, hot 29-year-old and get in a monogamous marriage and then be shocked when I get divorced again. He just lost it. Scott Adams is a great example of a really smart guy who does everything wrong. Not everything wrong, a lot of things wrong. And again, I like Scott Adams. I don't want to be hard on Scott Adams, but I've done several podcasts about him or written articles about him. You can be really smart and still do all the wrong things. How do you handle people that say having sex with other women outside of your wife is degenerate and you lack self-control? You need to show me evidence. I've run into these people. These are more right-wingish people or women over age 33. Am I right? I bet every person who said that to you was either a traditional conservative, evangelical Christian type or a woman who is well over the age of 30. Am I right? Tell me if I'm right. Put in the comments if I'm right about that. Tell me why. Tell me why this is a bad thing. Why is it having sex with other women while wearing a condom who are not my wife while I'm married? My wife gives me full permission to do it. And I'm not talking her into it and not forcing her to do it. It's something she knew even before we were dating. Okay. It's nothing new. I didn't spring this on her later. Why is that degenerate? Why is that degenerate behavior? Who am I hurting? Okay. And then why is that lacking self-control? Why? You just wish you were me. Amazing how you're so generous with your time answering our questions. Well, I'm normally not this generous, but thank you. Thank you. Will you be doing the same format when you go live Friday? Friday? I'm going live on Friday? I'm doing one more of these for the 90-day business builder at the I am doing another one of these, but it's not public. You need to be on my mailing list. And at the end of the business builder challenge on my mailing list, we'll be doing another live stream on how to build a location independent business. You're all invited. It's free, but you have to be on my mailing list or you will not be able to do it. It will not be public here on YouTube. Okay. So if you're not on my mailing list, okay, calebjones.com and click the little link to download the Location Independence Toolkit. And if you live in Europe, I was going to throw this out there. You have that stupid GDPR thing. So use an email address that is not subject to that, or else we can't send you the stuff. Because if you live in Europe, you Europeans who love big government, I'm not allowed to email you stuff on a mailing list unless you bought something from me. Okay. Or no, unless the email is something no, it's not even that. The email has to be directly related to something you bought and paid for. I can't give you free content over email because Europeans love big government, just like Americans. So that's it. So you want to be part of another live stream like this, we totally focus on location independent business. It'll be next week. Get on my mail list. Agreed. You're very welcome, guys. You're being very sweet. And I got to go in a few minutes. Speaking of being generous with my time. In regards to my previous question, I should have said he threatened to hit me before I left the UK because he doesn't want me to leave. Well, here's the deal on physical violence. You can never initiate it. I have never initiated physical violence my entire life, but you can respond. So if he hits you, you hit him back and you hit him hard. You put him in the fucking hospital. If he actually hits you, he won't. Odds are very low. Men are full of, talk is cheap. Do you disagree with Mr. Licaria's approach of building sexual tension to get sex happening, being sexually attract? I have first date this Friday and want to fuck this chick, minimum of 3 dates. I don't disagree with that at all. No, I love Licario. No, him and I are pretty simpatico on our techniques. He's one of my favorite guys. Just be cool to be an alpha male 2.0. You got to be chill to be an alpha male 2.0. Don't be cool. I'm not cool. Am I wearing a cool shirt right now? Do I have cool hair? Do I look cool with my fucking nerd swords and my nerd books? How cool do you think I am? I'm not cool, but I'm chill. I'm relaxed. I'm happy. I'm outcome independent. I'm confident. I'm not really ugly. I look really good for my age. I'm 50. So I cover all the bases. That'd be cool. Helps be cool, but not be cool. Yeah, especially now in this era where, see, I grew up in the 80s, in the era where you had to be cool. 70s, 80s, you had to be cool. Today, nerds are the norm because men are so beta-ized and dorky and nerdy and children. Nerds are the norm, so women don't mind fucking nerds now. Women didn't want to fucking nerds in the 80s when I was in high school, but now they don't care as long as you have everything else going on. So you gotta be cool. You gotta be chill. Any experience dating Middle Eastern or Persian chicks? None. Pretty much none. Unless I'm forgetting about someone. No, that's one of the few races I have not been with. Certainly not Persian. Middle Eastern, none. No, and I live in a Middle Eastern country. No, I have no experience doing this. Sounds like a lot of work, a lot of ASD, a lot of religious stuff you got to put up with. Sounds like a lot of work. But my goodness, I live in a country where the Middle Eastern women here are gorgeous. Pink Firefly, we just talked about this. She was out getting her nails done. And she's like, oh my God, these 3 smoking hot Middle Eastern rich chicks were sitting right next to me and they're just beautiful. And I'm like, yep, Dubai. Yep. Caleb, you're awesome, man. Get your ass to bed. Thank you. You're very welcome. What a great way to end the live stream. All right. Let's wrap this up. Thank you guys very much. 90-Day Business Builder, 90daybizbuilder.com. You have a few days left for this to schedule your calls if you're interested in this. We start the program on November 12th, and you will be making money within 3 months. Guaranteed. And if you don't, we'll keep working with you forever till you do. I'm not kidding. You will really enjoy it. It's a really enjoyable program and something that will actually work for you. So, cool. All right. Thank you, guys. Have fun. Bye.